Working? Yeah, it is. There we go. How is everyone getting on? We are doing our live UFO, a UAP, a Skywatch there tonight. It's a clear sky, unlike last night, so hopefully we're going to see some very interesting things indeed. But yeah, we're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. Long history of the weird and wonderful, say, in these skies. Tonight should be no exception, so keep your eyes up there. Let us know what you spot. Do say hello as you're joining us there. Over on the tubes, we've got Dan in there as well, and Locke is in as well. Good to see you there. A up on board, Trevor too, and Pancake. It's time we know, though, of what we did it. Yes, something amazing. Hope something amazing happens tonight. I think we're due. We're due, I think, some of those more interesting ones. We've had a few anomalies lately, haven't we? But yeah, we are due. Oh, got some free on screen. Keep your eyes there. But we're due it there. Helen too. Good to see you. DJ's in over on the TikTok as well. How are you all doing over? How's the family doing there, DJ? And Carl is in too. Good to see you there. Bassman as well. Do say hello, guys, as you're joining us. Let us know where you're watching from. And if you had an experience with the phenomenon, I would love to hear about that one as the night rolls on there, especially as we're waiting for the action to happen on screen. Don't fully rely on the tracker. It is a guide. It is useful. But just like this one here, it has not caught that one. Oh, we got a flasher to start the night off. So
Zoom mode activated.
An untracked flasher. There we go. We've gone back to the 1970s. Not much flashing these days, is there? Or we tried to track it, but yeah, look at that one going across the screen there. Just flashing away as it goes. Oh, it's actually managing to get it a little bit. Assuming again over there. So what's happening is that object, whatever it may be, is probably rotating, and therefore on each rotation it's a more reflective side and a less reflective side. So, you know, as it's coming around, maybe the solar panels are catching the light, etc., and therefore it appears to be flashing to us there. If it's a rhythmic flash like that, again, it's a nice consistent speed of rotation there causing that pattern. Not necessarily anomalous, but good to look at there. The actual pattern, though, can be a little bit of a clue, there too. So we've got to keep our eyes out for the anomalous ones as well. Where do we get to as well? How you doing, Rib? And hey up there, where is the saucer model? I couldn't be bothered to lean over and get it up. I did think, should I? And I thought, no, I'm lazy. I would get there. How you doing, Terry? So here's the saucer model, basically like this. So see how it catches the light like that? So flash, no flash, flash, no flash. Now this is reflective. The actual material is equally reflective across its parts, but it is the size and more surface area to bounce that light back off. So essentially it's doing that as it's going. Now, a lot of modern satellites, the majority of modern satellites are designed to point one way. If they're a communication satellite, that signal's got to go to the ground, the antenna points down to the ground, the solar panels to the sun. So they're not really designed to flash. So at the end of their life, they can do that. You know, they start to tumble there. But again, we see the flashing, I think, far more than can be explained by that. We've had some ones that are flashing different colours on each go. Now, that is very, very interesting. Oh, you've got a buzzy feeling tonight there. We are going to see something amazing tonight. Well, Leanne's away as well, so maybe we can stay on a little bit longer. We'll have to see how we get on. I've left Otis out to his own decisions there, so we'll see how that one goes. But you never know. Tonight might be the night. It's a lovely and clear, and you know, I feel like we're starting to get into the season of sightings. It was this time last year we had some fantastic ones. And Moonraker there, we are not alone, 100% there. And even mainstream science is starting to catch up to that one now, isn't it? The reason that they would be so on the fence was that they didn't know that there were planets around all these other solar systems. You know, it could have been our system that was just unique, so they had to test. But now we're getting the equipment. If we zoom in, like for example, as far as we know, there could be many, many planets. I mean, it's looking like, you know, our solar system is nothing special at all around all of these stars. So lots of opportunity for life, so it's just a numbers game for that. But yeah, those early indicators with the technology that we have at the minute, it is looking like life could be abundant. Now, can it reach us? Is it complex life? I would lean to yes, but we're waiting for that official recognition, which might in itself, you know, just be on the line there. And Tom there, what did you see it there? Oh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer flew by in a Cadillac. I like that one. You'll enjoy our annual Santa tracking stream there, Tom. Be right up your street. And how are you doing there, Kate, as well? You're on both tonight there. Let me go over to the TikTok. Let me see where we got to, if you wonderful people over there. To, oh, my God, X, is it payday? Bloody hell. Oh, my God, I'm scrolling up. It's like a mile of gifts there. Jesus Christ, how are you doing, sir? Anyway, thank you for that. Harco as well. You're meant to be on holiday, Harco. But appreciate the gifts. Carl, too, they're coming in as well. Oh, and feeding Alan, the both of you guys there. Thanks, massive appreciation. Thank you. It all goes back into the stream, helping us improve what we are doing. I've ordered the cables that I need for the dog whistle, guys, so we should be able to start to use that one as soon as they arrive there. Now, the dog whistle is, this is a passive stream at the moment. So what we're doing is we're just watching the night sky, hoping we see something, hoping we catch E.T. on his way to the shops. But there are ways that are reported to have a good a good cause and effect ratio to, summoning them in. A lot of that is meditative and it's consciousness connection. But we're working on a hardware solution at the minute, and it's a dog whistle, they call it. So tones and frequencies, mostly things that we can't hear as humans, but apparently, they have a good connection of summoning them in. So, we're going to start to use that one. Now, you don't hear them because they're ultrasonic, but you will, over on the tubes anyway, you'll see the waveform appear down here. So if I just turn that one on, there we go. So we'll give you our test tone. It's not plugged in at the minute, so it's not going to start summoning the UFOs. But this one you'll be able to hear, and you'll hear that on both platforms. Now, you won't because I haven't unmuted that section. You see the waveform there on the YouTube, you can see that going off there. So that'll tell us that it's active and it's doing its various patterns and sweeps and various things like that as the night moves on. Where did we actually get to in the chat with you TikTokers? If you're just joining us tonight, we are doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight. We're currently live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So lots of strange things here over the years. Tonight should be no exception. So do say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and ask away any questions there. You're from the same time zone now, Harko. You're meant to be having a relax, having a bit of a holiday there. Ada as well, coming in with the gifts. Thank you for that. Appreciate it all goes back into the stream. And we're all right, thanks. And Arlo is pretty good. Definitely. That is awesome to hear there, DJ. Make sure you rest up as well there. Where did Kate go? Kate's between both platforms at the minute. I'm sure she'll be back in for the second. I did an Agent X raid on a haunted tomb. Oh, X, I want to know all about that one. I've got all these images in my head now of like a Scooby-Doo style ghost hunt. I need to know there. And Lethal, how are you doing? Adam is in. We're all good tonight there. And Adam coming with the shares there. First 1,000 likes. Well done, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz. That does help us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, so the more we can all piece this puzzle together. We get some fantastic first-hand accounts from you guys as you join us and share your experiences, and fireworks as well. Even more X there. Appreciate that. Did the ghost give you TikTok coins? Dawdle as well there. How are you doing? And thank you for the gifts too. Where are we? Let me catch up. Where did we get to? We got down here. So Harko Kate will be on the TikToks in a minute, she says there. And Graham there. Hi, I broke a bone in my foot last week and I am up and walking okay now, but I still have discomfort. Some of those things like that, they can really just sit with you. It's not like when you're young and you get over this stuff really quickly there. They can really start to literally having this conversation today with some family members there. So I'm wishing you a speedy recovery there, Graham. I'd ask Alan if he says he could use his technology there to do some repair work, but he's a tight ass there. And Raf is in the house. How you doing, Raf? And Pancake, did you get any shots of the moon there the past couple of days there? I didn't manage to get to the stream. Sadly, Pancake, you didn't miss the moon, definitely. No, it's high, but it's not fully high until like about 3 in the morning, like where we can get it where the trees aren't. So it means I think next time the moon comes around, it should be much higher. It should be therefore able for us to do a proper moon stream, and it looks like that, guys. All the craters, all the details, and sometimes the weird flashes of light, the weird outgassing, and all of that sort of stuff there. It's been a while since we've done one, but yeah, I'm looking forward to those. And SK, how are we doing there? And Liberty, I'm on holiday there, and I've driven to the end of my garden to the next lake. I was going to say, different time zone, isn't it? For you as well, Liberty. And where are we? Down here as well, yeah. It'll be also, super, it is. I love doing a moon stream. The moon, even though you see it all the time, actually seeing it up close, it does sound like primordial there. You really love to see it. What I don't love though is because the Earth's rotation is so fast, the moon on the screen is just moving across, like literally at this sort of speed. So I'm constantly having to go with a little tracker, a little thing moving it along, and it's not that reliable. But that'll be another job to fix there. Yeah, I've been missing you there, Raf. We've had a few people that you would have loved to have a conversation with. We're just talking about that. You've got 10 days off now. I love it. And seen a close-up of the moon there. Stunning enough. So exactly. It really is there. And how are we doing there, Short? Has the space station been tracked on a broadcast? So we've had it come across visually. I don't think we had the tracker itself working on it. Yes, that's a good point. I don't think we've had the software on it. In theory, it should pick it up as a big bright object. We've adapted to that, so it should do, but I don't think we've actually tracked it yet. I'm sure it'll be coming back around, the next couple of weeks there, where it'll be on stream again. And it will be awesome. Raf was definitely needed there, exactly. We did, and yeah, you were summoned. Everybody was going, "Where's Raf? Where's Raf?" Oh, good use of the grid there. Another untracked one. Thank you guys for that one. If you share the grid references of anything that you think could be anomalous or has been missed by me or the tracker, put the grid reference, you know, A2 for example, in the chat, and the mods, if I think it's good, they will highlight it, and we can have a zoom in on it there. But it's a lovely clear night tonight, especially after last night. We did try to what did they call it? Oh, I was going to say meditate. No, it's the old. Starts with M. Manifest. We're trying to manifest Raf. Where did we get to over on the TikTok? What all doing, didn't we there? And Lethal been jumping in lives and pinching coins. Appreciate that, Lethal. All appreciate it. But hanging out is enough, and all of your knowledge there as well. The TikTok coin thief. You're like the Robin Hood of TikTok lives. I like it. Where are we going to? Around here somewhere. And Paulo as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And Jamie Essex as well, good to have you in. Where the devil are you from in tonight? Do say hello, guys. Ask away any questions you may have. Maybe it's what we're doing, why we're doing it, or how we're doing it. No, there we go. That one looked like it was being tracked, but they just crossed paths at the perfectly wrong time there. So false alert on that one. But yeah, do ask any questions there. You can even be skeptical. That is totally cool here as well, and just appreciate the night sky. But I'd love to hear from you all where you're watching from as well there. So guys, make sure you're following, subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are. Lethal coming in with the gifts too, because we're on pretty much every night. So tonight is live UFO UAP Skywatch right in the heart of Crop Circle country here in Wiltshire in the UK, just down the road from Stone Henge. When it's a cloudy night, we do an alien radio signal hunt. It looks like that, and it is basically, if you've seen the film Contact there, we are searching on what is called the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, that's where they'd put the message where the wow signal was heard, and on the said when the moon is about, well, we do a moon watch, and it looks like that. So if you're following and subscribed, you should get those notifications when we go live. Hopefully, if the platform gods favor us. And do you have aliens? Alan, sorry, on your shop. As I was looking to get Arlo his first alien. DJ, we don't yet at the minute. I have looked into doing it, but I'm a bit suspect because you order them from China and they say that they're safe and they have all like the certification, but I don't trust it, and I wouldn't want somebody doing it there. I mean, the one I got was just like Temu or something like that, so they're available like that, those sorts of places. But yeah, it's just finding a reputable source. When we do, we'll find them. We are looking at little t-shirts for the Atlans, though. Got to figure it out. I already give a due altitude to work there. I thought tonight I should make up for that. X, you make up for it in all sorts of ways, shape or form. It's appreciated, but never required. Where are we? Down here as well. A good spot in there, Lethal. A2. Sorry, I'm a bit behind, but I'll double check. A2, so that one. I need the big grid actually over on my other screen so I can see it. He's 74 points to rank up, and he wants the points. I missed you last night there, Dordor there, but my granddaughter had a good birthday. Oh, that was, yes, Friday, wasn't it? God, I've lost track of time there. Well, I'm glad she had a family, has to come first. Saw the chest pop up on here from the other stream and jump back to pinch them. He is the Robin Hood. And who is on the Canadian, who is on the Canary Islands now? Oh, so that was Liberty. So he's not all the way on the Canary Islands, but his manor house on the Norfolk-Suffolk sort of border there. It's so large, it's a different time zone. And Bobby, how are you doing from Yeovil? Not too far from us. I have a friend that works in Yeovil. Have you ever seen anything strange? Still Somerset, lots of reported strange things there. And at Coaster as well, I saw something that moved like a satellite, but was flashing the other night there. Too high for a plane. Brilliant spot. So yeah, it's we had a flasher on just at the beginning of the stream as well. It's all about how they flash. So a lot of modern satellites aren't designed to rotate like they used to. The early ones, they'll just be flying around up there like Doctor Who's TARDIS flying around. But the modern ones are, they've got shape to them. Right? So this is actually Hubble, so it'd be pointing up, the old space telescope there. But you imagine a space telescope is just designed to point one way, same as a spy satellite is designed to point that camera down to the ground, or communication satellite with antennae or anything like that. They're not designed to just fly around either which way there. So if we're seeing something flashing, it is most likely rotating quite dramatically, and that is what causes those flashes. So prop time. So you see how this catches the light like that, UFO, but as it's flying, see if it's like flash, no flash, flash. So these satellites, or whatever they are up there, they're moving and flashing back down to us there. So it can be very, very anomalous, especially the amount that we see. You wouldn't think there'll be that many satellites at the end of their life doing those sorts of things. Excuse me. And Bex as well there, thank you for the follow, good to have you in. And Yvonne too, how are we all doing tonight, crew? Do say hello, let us know where you're watching from. And my avatar in the Discord is correct there. I already saw some aliens. You're the mad scientist over there, Harko. We need to get you a lab coat. You saw 15 orbs this morning that merge into one over Phoenix. Oh, is that on a stream? So this behaviour of the large orb-like things that people see, these balls of light, either, one becoming two or three or re-merging. Come out in the latest drop, didn't it, of the UFO, of the American document, so it was reported there as well. Oh, it is a consistent flash. See, it's very interesting, isn't it? It doesn't give us a lot of the observations that we get here. I mean, what we're seeing is this light bouncing off the things that are up there in our atmosphere. Activated. So when we see those anomalies, we can't tell you what it definitely is, but we can filter out what it is in satellites and all that other sort of space junk like that. But we're often a lack of ability to draw it over the line anymore. Thank you for sharing that. It was a pretty cool, awesome one there. Where in the world was the sighting there? And San there as well, thank you for the follow. Kate says tap tap. We do appreciate the tapping, guys. The likes, the shares, tapping away, all that jazz helps us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece of this puzzle together. We've got the tracker on tonight, so we've got 2 red ones. Now, if it's red, it means pay more attention to it. It's doing something strange. The problem is, it's just the tracker has got a misalignment for both of these cases. You see, it's not calculated the path correctly, and as it's deviated from the predicted path, it's gone red. So green means it's just doing satellite stuff. It's not telling us anything else. But until, if we go red, you've got to look out for that. We need to see these objects here. We need to see them like this one here. We need to see these go stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. That will tell us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger than one of the many man-made satellites up there. But there's going to be a lot of them up there. Statistically, most likely, if it's not giving us that strange behaviour there, it's most probably just going to be a man-made satellite, but that's why it's a hunt. There is still loads and loads of things that we do see. Most nights there, Dordor, DJ and Lee, they're coming in with the gifts. Extra thank you again for those. And it point the Skyview 4 Augustus are on the moon there, and hopefully you'll see the SpaceX rocket crash into the moon. I heard about this one earlier. I wonder if they've still got any kit on any of those landers that's working, if the older seismographs there to detect the impact there. Speaking of how weird the moon is, ringing like a bell. How you doing, Lee, as well? We're all good here. How about yourselves? And right, let me go back over to the tubes. Where did we get to? Yeah, it was quite the discussion. It was very repetitive after a while. I would like to see live footage of the Saturn's rings. I would love to. One of my lists of things to get is one of those smart telescopes, so we can have the main view like this, looking out the wide field of the sky, looking out for those anomalies. But when we want to do a super zoom, like right now, I'll go. Let's tell you about Vega, this big bright purple beauty right in the middle of the screen here. This is Vega. It's a star 26 light years from us here on Earth, burning much hotter and brighter than our sun. Won't last as long. But wouldn't it be good to go, right, let's switch to the super zoom and look at a massive, more detailed one there, or when the planets are in shot as well. The word that was it. It was span up. Yep. The sheriff's back in town now. We've got to get you the leather chaps, Raf, so you're dressed the part there. And what is the stuff about Free Eye Atlas online again? I've seen a few little things, but I haven't gone into detail on it. I think it's probably going to be stuff that kind of falls into the category of interesting, but not enough again. And Chris is in. How are you doing there? Are you going to watch the moon crash live on Wednesday? I think I have to, as long as it's a reasonable hour. I think I definitely do there. Rich too, how you doing? And Liberty did a live stream of Saturn's rings a few years ago. What did it look like? What's the sort of quality that we can get from down here with the zoom? Oh, B1 as well there, another untracked one. Good spotting, good use of the grid. And A up there, thank you for the gift. That's very, very kind of you there. Massive appreciation for the super chat. So it all goes back into the stream, guys. That's very, very kind of you there. Exactly. What is your favourite bits? I'm curious of that one too. And Super, we yearn for the alien plush. Well, technically, guys, it's the IP, the design of Alan is actually, I didn't realise this, it's actually an IKEA product there. So when that time comes, we might have to Doctor Who Alan a bit, and he might have to do a slight regeneration when that time comes to prevent us getting sued by IKEA. And God for that. Something just landed on my foot and I'm like, that felt like a large spider. It indeed was not a spider. So we're okay. Oh, it's in the old Astro one, yeah. And short there, can reverse the black on white to the sky being, and the stars being as black. That would be better for seeing moving object. Oh, sure. Yes, that would be. I'll have to figure out how to do that. There was a friend of mine was showing me a way that you can process video, not live as far as I know, but you can process video to basically kind of do that, and it just looks for the pixels that have moved, and then only renders those. And it's like watching ghosts or anything like that, but you can see like footprints in sand, really subtle things that, you know, like if a gravel path has been disturbed, you know, you wouldn't notice that necessarily unless it was a really deep footprint, but you can see the differences. I'm gonna have to look back into that one because I was interested at the time. And the Purple Star XX, that is a Vega there, perfect timing for it. And Marty, how are you doing there as well? 90 odd watching and only 23 likes there, crime, but we do appreciate that, guys. If you do feel like giving us a like, especially the top one at the top of the page there, it does help us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves. You never know who is going to come in and what experience with the phenomena they are going to share with us. Do say hello, ask your questions, and let us know where you're watching from. And yeah, I'll get your messages. I'm just working through the YouTube chat, and then I'll bounce back over to the TikTok to see where we're all at. And what's that? The purple. Oh, spot on there, Raf. Is it dangerous? No, it's just a big star. I mean, you wouldn't want to be too close to it, but it's the same as our star. You know, I mean, different in, you know, what it's burning to the degrees, but a big fusion reaction in the night sky there. But very, very, about 26 light years away from us. So, going back to this is a very good one to explain relativity. We've all heard about Einstein's theory of relativity. The theory you only tell your relatives. That's a Red Dwarf quote. But basically, that light that we're seeing now has travelled from that star, like our sun. It's been emitted from that star, and it has travelled uninterrupted all this way, right through Earth to the atmosphere, right to us, to our camera, through the lens, down the sensor, down the wire to you guys there. Nothing got in the way until our camera lens did for those photons there travelling there. But because they are limited to the speed of light, hence where it gets its name, and that is 26 light years away. That light has taken 26 to travel here. This, what we're seeing now, is a snapshot of what that star looked like 26 years ago. So, a few months after the millennium, that light let that star. So do you remember where you was just after the millennium? Maybe you're at the Millennium Dome, or you were nursing a hangover that had lasted a few months. Whatever it may have been there. That light is when that left that star. So if this star maybe say went supernova 5 years ago and blew up as a massive explosion, I don't think this star can, I don't think it's heavy enough, but either way, if it did go bang, right, 5 years ago, we wouldn't see for another 21 years basically, because it's still got to travel all of that way, which is quite to wrap your head around the vastness of space. And last boy, how are you doing? Good to see you there. I mean, it's dangerous if you're on the surface of it. And where are we down there? It's a planet or a star. So it's a star like our sun there. Big fusion reaction. Oh, good use of the... we've got a few... Oh, one there and one there. Thank you for the interactive grid, guys. Nearly missed them myself. A lot of haze. You see the stars jumping around a bit. How many we've got? 5, 4 being tracked on the screen at once. We've had 10, I think, being tracked at one time. And Marcus is in the house. Feed him, exactly. Oh, what side... June, what side, June, are you of the Earth are you on? So we are on the outside. We're in the UK at the minute, Northern Hemisphere. And I lived on Bolter Park in Port Harbour 2003, and there was a skate park there back in the day, and it was too dark to skate at 10:30 I was stood on the platform, and over towards the bay it came out an oval object. Oh, I thought, yeah, I remember you saying something about that, yeah. And you'll see it there, all of your friends, a very awesome one. Was it you, Trevor, as well, that had the sighting over the fields from where the crop circles were? You were camping out one night. Love that account. That's what's so good. We get to hear everybody's accounts, which, again, you otherwise wouldn't have heard. With the technology we have now, we're all connected. We can all share these stories together, so we can all learn. They don't just fade away. And why don't I know about the Musk smashing shit into the moon? I don't know much on it. I don't think it was intentional. I think it was a stray bit of space junk or something. I haven't, but do correct me on that one, because I haven't looked. And Liberty, I had a very powerful telescope there. Oh, the Meade, was it LX200 there? And even in that is tiny. Oh, so yeah, from here we're not even going to be able to... I'd love to do one where you could see like some of the details of those. How you doing, Hatchie? And where are we down here? Just chop the antenna off. Exactly. Yeah, well, we'll just chop it, but which one? It'd be like the chinchilla we had on there. That was like Sophie with no ears. And where are we there? Nerdy question, go for it there, Marcus. I've always wondered, what is the scale of each grid box we see on the screen there in miles? Oh, now that is a good question there. So I don't think... You probably could equate it to miles, but because obviously the distance is going out further and further, the depth there. I think when the way they measure it, isn't it like arc minutes? I think is one of the measurements they use, don't they, to describe the width and stuff. So I don't have a good answer. I don't know the question to that. But if you want to get it out, you've got to do the old director alignment, you know, action like that. You do that, point up to the sky. That is the sort of shot that we are getting from this lens at the minute. I do wonder, actually, because it's not the precise standard measurements, but it's arc minutes is one of them by something else now. Is it latitude or something? Space is weird with it there. It's a very good question. And Trevor, there in the colour that came from the direction of Corfe Castle, and it was streamlined and passed behind Canford Cliffs of something we then looked up and saw lots of coloured balls way up high flashing. So there was something going on there. Did anybody else, like your friends obviously saw it at the time of you there, but did anybody else like in Poole or around the area report the same thing? And Raf says there, we appreciate the likes and subscribes. Do make sure you are subscribed though, because we're on pretty much every night doing our live Skywatching. We've got a lot of clear nights with all of this heat we're having. So yeah, we're on pretty much every night doing our Sky Watches. And then if it's a cloudy night, we do an alien radio signal hunt there. We search on the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise that if ET's out there, that's where they'd put the message. It's where the whale signal was heard. If the moon's up, I'm going to be bothered. We do a moon watch too. So pretty much every night looking for evidence of the phenomena. And how you doing, Jolly? And what is this there? I believe it's a white hole there, Super. So white holes are interesting. They are the opposite, of a black hole. So a black hole is it's a mathematical thing. We do think we observe them, or technically we observe the evidence around them. We can't, by its nature, observe the black hole directly. What you see is the light that then suddenly stops where the black hole is. But yeah, a black hole, mathematically speaking, really is matter being condensed into an infinitely dense tiny point. So all of the stuff in space being sucked down to an infinitely dense object. And the white hole is the reverse of that. It's from an infinitely dense point exploding matter out there into the universe, which kind of sounds like the Big Bang, doesn't it, really? It's why a lot of people think that, maybe that's how universes are made. You both come in together, Raf. I want to see the sitcom where you guys are like, you've got a house sharing situation going on there. And actually there, was it 50 Harry Potter had Fort Anglia flying across. That's the bonus, man. It flies across then. The speed of light has been falsified. Oh, true. Has it really? Where are we down there? Very interesting knock. I have been watching for about 30 minutes and I'm yet to see anything. Moving from left to right. Are we watching the same screen, guys? Oh, I mean, actually, from your perspective, that's a very good point. Sorry, I thought you meant you weren't seeing anything moving there, but no, very good. Yeah, very, very good point, actually. Right, basically, left eye, I was trying to get my head around. It's round the other way for the TikTok version of, so I'm looking at it now, and for the TikTok, actually, because it's inside, it goes that way. But no, you're very right. You bring up something very interesting, which is the orbits of these objects. So the easiest one for people, the space companies to put them in, therefore cheapest, is a normal orbit in, with the rotation of the Earth. You're not going to fight it then. Then around the equator they launch normally around there. But that's the easiest one. And then you've got a retrograde orbit, which is what you're describing there, basically going the other way around. So you've got to fight against the force of the Earth, but you can do it. It's just quite expensive. And you know what? I feel like we've seen a lot more of that in the past. And that's why I'm confused, because normally they do come from left to right too. I've not noticed that as a difference before. I wonder. Very interesting. But yeah, you've got the polar orbits as well, the ones going up and down. You're getting me thinking there. I like that one. And Living Light is in. How are you doing? And need to book time in your nearest observatory for a live using the big telescope. We have one at our local school and the nearest university. Your school's got one as well. I do need to do that one. I legitimately do. I wonder if they'd let me, though, or if they'll just write us off going, oh, you're interested in UFOs there. Exactly. I don't. Where are we down there? Bigger than a football pitch. I mean, give or take. And where are we? See if it's just a calculation, and it's all the math there. The light propagates, the sun creates the light, daylight, direct, twilight. Within its field. I mean, I wouldn't say it's real. It's an interesting angle there, Jolly, but I wouldn't necessarily call it real science versus the other. But you are right that it is just a calculation. It's our interpretation of reality, and maths is meant to be very good at that, but it is just that. It is an interpretation. It is the map and not the terrain. And if you see anything in the sky, always check with the Enigma app there. You find others have reported, and you can report what you've seen. Oh, very good, yes. And this modern way as well, if you actually do report it, you take an image or you video it with the Enigma app, it takes in all the details as well, so you don't have to, like obviously where you are, date or time, what the weather conditions are like in the area. But I think they can even do which way your phone is pointing at the time that the image was taken. So you know, they can check, go, no, Venus wasn't in the night sky at this time or something like that, you know, so they can filter out all the normal debunks there. I've seen a bright orange light just sitting in the sky. No movement, however. Part of the sky was clear blue, and there was this object, and it was all a darkish, like it was going to rain. Very interesting there, Lost Boy. So people report those things for thousands of years. Again, if it's quite a bright part of the sky there, you're not seeing the other stars out or things like that, or Venus. And again, bright orange as well. That normally sets it apart from all of the other the fixed objects up there. That is really interesting. Did you just kind of leave it, or is it still there? Did it fade away? Did it move off? That's a very interesting sight in there. Epic information there, Pancake. I was going for a minute. It was a red dwarf quote, wasn't it? There. And where are we? Down here as well. Pierre is into, and 35 witnesses. The light in the skate park turned off at 10 miles an hour there. So my friend was going mad and could not believe what he was seeing. This is when you do have a proper sighting like that. Like, there isn't like a way to express it properly. Like, you go home, you tell people, and you're like, that it's a light in the sky. You know, that you can't convey just how awesome it is and how it feels to have an experience like that one. So that is, yeah, it's good. That is a very good one. Why is that one? Because you would have thought over a populated area like that we would have heard a little bit more about that one. It's pretty cool. And Chap as well there. Good show. Thank you, Chap. Good to have you in. Where are you in from tonight? And Stu there coming in with a super chat as well. That's very kind of you. Massive appreciation. So it all goes back into the stream. But yeah, very do appreciate that one. It helps us upgrade things. Currently, guys, we're saving up to take the show on the road. We're going, hopefully, to our Rendlesham Forest to kick off our UK UFO hotspot tour. Do live sky watching from all of these locations there. Excuse me. So that's where it's all going in a second. And finally watched a Disclosure, and I think that the last part of the film prepares us for what might follow, step by step, rather than through a single announcement on the news. I can see that living light. I can see it there. As real science proves, luminaires are closer, not millions of trillions of miles away. 1 light year is 5.8 trillion miles. So look, I'm up for there to be, you know, that we've got the math wrong. I'm even open to it being wrong in a fundamental sense, like, you know, nobody's gone back and figured these things out. Ultimately, we haven't sent things that far just yet, have we? But we are, I think, reasonably confident on the inner solar system with all the probes and whatnot we've sent there. And Dunder Gamer there, I watch these stars every night from 2 AM to 5 AM there, and you see some crazy stuff. You really do. Like, if you don't look up, you do not see, do you? I didn't look up until starting to do this stream. That's kind of like my main impetus for doing it, is that I hadn't had an experience that was particularly strange, and I wanted to, you know, have one. And the sky was clear here, so boom, there we go, this happened. But yeah, as soon as you start to look, you do start to see, don't you? Lots of very strange things indeed. What's the best thing you've seen there? And sure, also, I'll check that one out, sure, thank you for that. And I'll be watching Disclosure after the stream tonight. You're going to settle in, get your snacks in. It's a beautiful, clear night. It really is nice, especially after last night that was just clouds. I felt a bit robbed. And UFOs there. Good evening. Great night to have here. It really is. And all the better for seeing you in there. And where, oh God, it's going ahead of me, guys. I'm about to release Unidentified Flying podcast on YouTube. We should collab. Oh, Dundee, hey, I'm always up for a chat. Always up for a chat. Just send us a message or an email, or however it is there, and always up for that. That sounds like a really cool project. Is it already out on the podcast platform? Is it already or is it just like a new release that's going to be up there? If it's already out there, tell us where to find it, and we can give it a check out. And looks better resolution tonight, or a clearer atmosphere. It might be the atmosphere, because what do they call it? There's a lot of heat haze that we can get. You know, if there's a lot of moisture in the air, that was one of the factors that really does kind of screw us a bit. disclosure was great there. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And Trevor, has anybody seen the footage of the oval glowing object that crashes in Nevada desert 1993ish, and it hits the ground, then elevates and crashes? It's the same type of craft I saw in Paul. I don't know if I have seen that one, but I'm gonna have to go find it now. Is it 130 watching and not even half of the likes? Slackers there. But if you do decide to help us out there and give us a like, we do appreciate it, because it's how we meet you all. And you never know who is going to come in and what experience that they are going to share with us, or learning a little bit more about the phenomenon, what is all going on, off and around the planet. And it started to get bigger, then slowly blinked, and then the light flickered of a kind of a torch losing power. Then nothing, and all the clear sky. Bear in mind, it was clear day as well. Bang on. Whereabouts in the world, Lost Boy? Like, as you probably have mentioned, but that is bang on to a lot of the sightings that we had here in Warminster back in the 60s and 70s that was witnessed by like the whole town at once, multiple times, exactly like that. There were obviously the moving ones. There's quite a range, but one of the most common, like that wasn't spotted by the dedicated skywatchers that went out to the hills and to the locations around the town to watch it, but the general townsfolk, it was that sort of thing. For me, it feels quite organic. You know, it feels like it could be a product of something there. Oh, that's a strange one. Look at that trajectory there. That's not an error trajectory. Oh no, I see what it's. It got its initial point wrong there. Don't worry. False alarm. And the opposite side of the sun every 6 months it follows the opposite direction, but no parallax, and the same stars. Well, the position does move as we go round. And weirdest thing I've ever seen is I posted this, so when I get it, I'll post it on the channel. Oh, brilliant, Lost Boy. I'd love to see that one. Thank you for that one. And if you guys, any of you guys that are sharing stories, if you want to share them over on our Discord, link in bio, our little community page there. We've got a personal experiences section, which is absolutely jam-packed full with everybody's personal experiences. The brilliant point about that is, even if the community are not on the stream right now, they'll be able to check out there. And it also just doesn't disappear immediately after we come off a line. I think you can put images and videos in too. It is a beautiful dark sky tonight there. I don't know if I want to go out and see if I can turn up the settings a bit more, but we are seeing quite a lot, and we're on a low setting. Never seen disclosure there, and Blue Goose there, watching from a cloudy St. Augustine in Florida. Love that as well. God, we were comparing a couple of from your way there, and when we were having our heat wave last week, we were having a temperature off of how hot it was versus here versus there. Very welcome in. Have you ever seen anything strange in the skies of Florida there? And Lost Boy, I liked it. I wasn't expecting much. I'm not a blockbuster fan, but I did enjoy it. I think the message from the Disclosure Day was that we're ready, that we can tell, and it's okay to have that conversation. You know, it's no longer ridiculous. I felt that was the message that it was trying to portray. And I've looked into Stone Henge, and from what I found, this is RJ, the architectural evidence points to it being man-made. It was built by ancient people over 1,000 years ago. I lean to that. You know, that makes a lot of sense to me. Oh, Essex Clacton, yes, that was it. Was you were talking about Count Bingface? So you saw over Clacton, Jesus, like, because growing up in Essex, I just don't associate it really with UFOs. I never saw anything myself. But guys, too built up, too busy. But obviously, there's a lot of rural areas there. There have been historically a lot of sightings. Didn't we have another chap in from Chadwell St Mary the other day that was seeing things? And Stuart, there, a question for our favourite Skywatcher. How are you doing there, Stuart? Do you find that the Skylink has is it irritated? Oh my God. The already space debris when watching. Is it a smoke screen? Oh, limited the already space debris when it's watching. It's a good one. Look, there's more targets, so that does obscure in the sense, doesn't it? There, I mean, back in the day when there were 3 man-made satellites, you could plot where they were, and this is obviously a long time ago, and then anything that wasn't those things could be anomalous. So these, and just the sheer amount of them, it does clog the system like that. But this is the thing, as technology moves on, you get the downsides like that, but then you also get the upside that we can do what we're doing with the camera and equipment we've got now, and check out, you know, and do all the tracking and stuff. So it's a bit of a like for like. I think we've got a slight flasher
zoom mode activated
on this one. That's why it's having trouble tracking. So different brightnesses. Imagine it rotating, and on different sides, I've got to zoom out again, sorry. There it is. See, look, flares up and goes down. So what's happening with that object, whatever that object is, it's flying around up there, but it's also like, see how that flash, no flash, flash on the larger side, getting the light, no flash. So it's doing that as it is rotating. Now, I said man-made satellites, are designed, modern ones, to point in one direction. They can't... Brain's gone dead. They can't. They can't be in the right. They can't do their job essentially if they are rotating model ones. So this is the Hubble Space Telescope. Interesting fact. Was originally meant to be a spy satellite for the CIA, and they didn't want it, and NASA went, you know, we'll take that, lads, put a new lens on it. But essentially, look, so if a spy satellite pointing down, that camera is pointing down to the Earth. If it's rotating, it ain't doing its job, is it? Same Hubble, what point up there, communication satellites are one and the same there. So at the end of their life, they can rotate, but we do see a lot of flashing. You wouldn't know there's that many duff ones flying around there. And does that RAF loves the tracker? Well, the RAF, we do call the tracker the RAF 5000 because RAF loves it so much. And I'm dishing out a roast dinner now. I wish I had room for all of you people. Oh, Trevor, one day we'll do a big meal there. Detecting a light spectrum years away. It doesn't seem ridiculous to me there. And Marcus coming in with the gifts. Thank you, Marcus. Very, very kind of you there with the super chats. Appreciate that. It all goes back into the stream, helping us improve what we do. Where did we get to in the chat? Sorry, guys. Trying to find as it jumps ahead on me. He does love the tracker, really. And Andy, yeah. I saw 5 objects flying in close formation. No lights. Just to outline agents. Outline against my eyes there. The background. 2 of them switched sides in a very robotic way. I'd never seen anything like it. It was about 5 years ago. Ooh, how high would you say that is? Because that sort of behaviour, again, is quite highly anomalous. Now, we can, with man-made drones and crafts, there are ones you can turn the lights off like that. But the majority, the vast majority of the domestic ones off the shelf that you can't screw around with like that, and for safety reasons, they have lights on. Was there any sound to the movement there? And how was it? Because even with our modern technology, we can't do the 90-degree turns yet. There is always a turning circle still. And sound is one of these reportable components of the phenomena. You know, or the lack of, we should say, which is really interesting because even if, you know, like a drone is battery powered, isn't it? There's no combustion engine to make a lot of the noise, but as it moves the air, as those rotor blades pass through the air, that still makes a lot of noise. And apparently, you know, people don't hear that with the phenomena. So, under attack. Moths there as well. It's called the... Oh, you've downgraded him there, Kate, to the RAF 3000. Where are we? Down here as well. And cold case. For some reason the message is retracted. Try rewording it. Maybe the autofilter called it. And I want to hear that one there. Gonna get hot next week. Oh no, I'm done with the heat. I'm done. Oh, no good. It hasn't got cool yet. And this was spotted in a Clacton, also, yeah, just 20 past 4 there to 5, so that is well early. That is a phenomenal one to see that as well, because what is the explanation for something that large staying stationary? Again, man-made stuff, balloons don't stay stationary then, subject to wind and pressure and temperature movement there. Helicopters can and drones can, but then, you know, that's the size of them. They only have a limited ability to hang around, don't they, for those. So what is a big bright orange object that could be responsible for that one? I've got the upgrade there. The ETs, UAPs are closer than you would think. Maybe that is definitely set in the phenomena, is it? It's not just the ET as a potential answer for the phenomena. The extraterrestrial, little green men from other planets. When you open it up, there are other very, very plausible examples. Now, I think it's unlikely to be just one thing as the answer for what everybody sees. And again, if one extraterrestrial race exists out there with us, then that means there's going to be loads. You know, you don't just get, you either get the one, the odd rare case, or you get a fuck ton. So likely to be lots of ETs, but also, you know, you bring in the time angle to this as well, the temporal angle. You'd bring in dimensions to this. It sounds a bit out there, sounds a bit sci-fi, but no, it is. There are very plausible theories to include those into the phenomena. And it's also lots of good data to see others. It very much is. And love a flasher there, Trevor. As everyone comes to the flashers, stays for the friendship. Bentos time there. And question, why do always choose the same bit of sky to view? Or do you need the brighter star to hold the guidance? It's a good question, sure. So we have a limited window of visibility from the garden. We've got houses and things around, and then those parts of town as well, they've got a lot more light pollution. So this is the darkest patch of sky, and we can go a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right, basically. But it's kind of a short quarter of the sky that we kind of have available. And when Vega is in, it's just easier to go, because I can see it's one of the first stars to come out when it's this season it's round. I can just go, right, cameras up, there's Vega, boom, you know. And I do like it. It looks pretty there. Too late for Bent. It's never too late. Bentos is a good question. And what would you suggest for an entry-level Skywatcher for the first-time viewers? And what's your best advice? Or just get out there and do it. Just get out there and do it. Don't worry. You'll figure it out as you go along with it. And also the other bit of advice is the thing that you're desperate to get. You'll get that, and then you'll figure out another thing. So don't put it on the credit card. That's the lesson I'm trying to learn myself. It's like, oh, we need the upgrade. No, but yeah, you couldn't. There's always better equipment. There's always better cameras and stuff. But as long as you're out there doing it, that's the most important thing. It's. I say the same thing. So I work in podcasts and stuff and production there. And when we get people wanting to start podcasts and things like that, and they go, well, what's the tips? What's a successful podcast? Just keep doing it. As long as you're willing to take the feedback in as well, you'll figure out what you're doing. Oh, I've not worded my titles correctly. Oh, I've not got my artwork quite right. Oh, actually, I was talking about crap subjects. Oh, my microphone's rubbish. You'll figure it out. As long as you keep doing it and keeping growing, the statistics is if you keep doing it, then it's an exponential hockey stick. Same with the sky watching. Just keep at it and figure it out. You can start, especially if you're not fussed with the night sky. I'm a bit of a sucker, so I like to see some beautiful stars and things like that. That's why we don't do a lot of day sky watching or cloud watching. Technically, you can still, but I don't find it as stimulating to look at the clouds. But if you're up for doing that, which is part of the sky watching, you can get very, very cheap. Certain CCTV cameras will do it as well. They can do that too. It's never too late for Meteors, exactly. And there are UFO hotspots on Earth where sightings occur very frequently, such as Sedona, where they regularly fly into and out of the mountain. That is a very, very big hotspot there. But yeah, Starlink is one, isn't it? I think Martha, Texas could be another one. Here in Wiltshire, that is one throughout the ages, throughout history, time and more immemorial, has lots of activity for that, possibly linked to the sky watching and the crop circles and the ley lines and things like that. Hard to tell how far there. Totally silent there, and it gave me chills. Oh, Andy, see it's that silence for me that's the big eureka with it there. But you're right with it. Unless you've got something in shot there, I think you'd really the 2 points to kind of get a real measurement of that when you're up there to get the depth. And planes are easy to spot there because the light's blinking and how they got up into the sky for that. Well, exactly. So speaking of which, we can do that. We do see them in the night sky, much more different to what we're seeing now. But we can bring in our flight radar just like this, and we can do a scan to see if there is anything in the airspace. Right, we've got one to the northwest, but we're really on that inner ring there at the minute because of the way we're pointing. Maybe 500 feet away. Yeah, you'd still hear that one, wouldn't you? Especially if there were 5 of them as well. That is a very anomalous sighting. Thank you for sharing that one. How you doing, Pan? And so you're too much of a hermit to care if it's hot. And conspiracy fighter there. After coming across this channel a few days ago, I'm back again. Let's find those aliens. All very, very welcome back in there, conspiracy. You'll find, we're here every night, and before you know it, you'll be going, oh, I've been here a year. It's a very sticky channel. We've got an awesome community here. We hang out. I talk I definitely talk more words, but we have more of a to and fro conversation, even as individuals with your questions, than I probably talk to my missus in the day. The amount of words I kind of grunt back to her. What do you want for dinner? This is my social interaction there. And definitely not a Chinese lantern. They go, oh, that's a good point. I hadn't even considered that one. Yeah, see, they, with the heat, the temperature from there, and subject to the wind, they're not just going to sit there. And Ernie there as well. My name's Ernie. How are you doing there? And LUFC, how are you there? Coming from the dark side of the moon and the volcanoes, apparently. Now, the dark side of the moon makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? If the extraterrestrial model is correct here, if you've travelled all this vast distance, right, the moon is the perfect little rest stop before you go down. It's somewhere you can park out of the way from us. Maybe have a little base there, a beachhead they'd call it. That little bit that you claim as yourself there, your little home away from home. Where you can get up to your business, and then it's just a short hop back down to the ground. So the dark side of the moon's always made a lot of sense to me for those ones. And the volcano's interesting too. Somebody theorized it could be the old lava tubes that they're using to move around. But I mean, if they've got warp drive, and they can go into a volcano, then protected, then you wouldn't necessarily need the lava tube. Just go where you want anyway. Don't do it, trackers. Is that your tip there, Raf? The trackers are good there. And cold case there. Almost true, a UFO appear during daylight hours there, and especially during summer. And usually appear within 1,000 feet of the observer. And daytime observing is far more fruitful. So I haven't actually done much daytime observing. I think I do. There's no reason, is there, why that UFO would be exclusive tonight. The only thing I can think of when it comes to why does there seem to be like that association with it. It's just that you might notice the contrast of a light object in a dark sky more for there. But yeah, daylight, there's nothing pressing against it. I don't know about the actual ratio around them as well, but I suppose in the daylight, what would you have? You know, you're going to have air traffic and things like that, but then at night you're constantly, you know, trying to filter out the satellites and things like that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how we could do an interesting daylight one, because when I put the camera up, you just see it's like a blue sky. Maybe you get a cloud across it, and that'll send me to sleep. Stuart, to start with, I learn the constellations and get a set of 10 by 50. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually, the binoculars there. Do it with your eyes. I still haven't learned the constellations. I rely 100% on you guys doing it. And Chris, and we are looking at the stars, which is cool. But if that is all light from the past, how do you measure the light that misses us and keeps going on? So this thing, if it's not, if it doesn't interact with anything, then you technically can't measure it. I assume that they do it by the amount that we do get in, and they extrapolate from that. But God, I don't actually really know. It is a good question. Battlefield Earth. It looks like that with the old lasers going across, doesn't it? That was a film, wasn't it? Have I seen that one? It's ringing a bell. And Rich, I was reading earlier that SETI are going to start searching for an ET signal on higher frequencies and broaden the search. I'm up for that, widening the scope, because I mean, when we do our SETI hunting, when we're searching the hydrogen lines, no, that's the moon, Sam. When we're searching the hydrogen line, like the film content there, we're listening on it on a narrow frequency band, because that is going to be the most monitored one, is that universal, or the galactic baseline, and therefore most likely place where we'd think, through human logic, that people would put a message ET included. So they do check some other bands at the minute, but there's a wider search, because what that is listening out for around the hydrogen line is that purposeful message. A civilization is sending out a message to deep space saying, hello, is anybody else out there? They don't know who may receive it. But what about all of the ET to ET communication that could be on any frequency, like our Earth stuff, many different frequencies for different purposes, their technology and all of that sort of stuff. So the more, the merrier. I think they're still struggling with the amount of data they've got, though. I'll drink, thank you, Kate. Tubers, I'm going to be over, TikTokers, sorry, I'm going to be over to you guys momentarily. And LU. And there's a new ski bob videos, definitely look legit, they're far too good for AI and CGI there. They're definitely already here. I don't know how I feel about the skinny bob ones. Like, I bounce strongly between both. Like, I look at it and I go, that bit I've got a question with. It's just fake. And then I'll see a part of it and I go, I don't know though, but how would they have done? Or, you know, like, I'm going to and fro. I've got a few things that I need to look into that I think might crack it, but I'm not there yet with it. And how you doing, Nugsy? You know, this is, I keep wanting to call you Cheap Ass, even though it's Cheap Astro. I want to call you Cheap. For safety's sake, I'm going to call you Nugsy now. It's easier. I'm not tempted to say it wrong, but visible. Where are we? Down here over on the TikTok. I'm bouncing back over, guys. If you're just joining us, we're doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK. Right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So a long history of the weird and wonderful in these night skies. Do say hello, ask any questions there, let us know where you're watching from, and I should get to your messages. I've got to scroll quite the way up here on TikTok because you guys have been very chatty and I haven't had a chance to answer them yet, but I'm going to scroll through them and I will get to your messages. Marcus there, and Truly as well there, and Scotlander too, Janie there, Living Light, all coming and feeding Alan there, Kate.
Nom nom nom.
Lethal, thank you for the gifts, guys. Appreciate those. Hopefully I haven't missed any more. Leah, I think there. All goes back into the stream, helping us improve on what we are doing. Where did we get to Marcus in? No, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling right the way. Oh, this has gone back to the beginning. That's why, TikTok, you piece of shite. Right, where did we get to? I think, so yeah, we got to around about here. Oh, DJ, I missed that one. Got off the screen there. And what's the line that goes off the screen? Oh, the sweeping one. That is technically an error, but I've left it on there because it reminds me that the tracker is on. And yeah, so a little on symbol essentially. TikTok's better than the tube. I don't know there, X. I don't know. It's got a better view over the tube. So guys, if you're over on TikTok, you're seeing a smaller image essentially. You see more of the night sky. It's round the right way, less of my face, and all sorts of other contextual analysis. So it's worth checking out there at The Thing UFO. And also, our currently, when we do the live on locations locally, they're only on the tubes because TikTok keeps having a sulk for those ones. And Reese, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And point south or west before midnight for possible shooting stars. Oh, right. Okay, we can point the camera to that one. Oh, it's quite high in the sky. I might need to physically change it though. And Vega is diameter is nearly 300 times larger than the Sun. Lethal, Jesus. So that purple star, guys, is in there. 300 times larger than our Sun, the diameter of that. Insane. Much bigger, much brighter and hotter. And could you get one with the name Alan in Boston it? And maybe that would be your design rights. We'll have to take them to court. Good spot in there, Lethal. I'm so far behind there. Get him a northern wig, a slight adaptation there. How you doing, Ben? Good to see you in as too. And Matt as well. You have such a relaxing late night radio voice, Matt. Thank you. That's very, very kind. I can't hear that myself. It sounds absolutely horrible. A lot of you guys fall asleep to this. I don't know how you do it. The amount of yapping that I do. But hey, if you're having fun. We're down there. And Leva, why have we got a moon that is 1/4 the size of the Earth and no other planet of that size? So the moon is weird. The moon is really, really bloody weird. So that's bang on the nail there. To have a planetoid moon, so it's the size that it is, as close as it is to a planet of our size, that's all very, very, very strange. Like you take Mars, for example, isn't much smaller really than the Earth when it comes to planets, and that has much closer, much smaller captured asteroid-y looking moons. They may not be actually captured asteroids, but they look like potatoes flying around there as well. You know, I don't think Venus has a moon. You know, it's weird. The bigger planets, you know, Saturn, etc., they, you know, Jupiter, they have moons, planetoid moons. But for us, it's really weird, isn't it, there? But it's, you know, perfect quarter of the moon, quarter of the Earth size there. But it's 400th the size of the Sun, and at 400th the distance. That's how we get those perfect solar eclipses. You know, I thought, oh, that's just what happens in space. You know, they must all get eclipses on those occasions. No, it's because our moon needs the perfect size at the perfect distance. That's a little bit too perfect, I think. And Pluto, and is it Charon there? Pluto's moon there, Charon, is about 50%, half of the size of Pluto. Is it really? That is quite a large one for that. And Lee, there, looks like you have more gadgets now, Master. Oh, Lee, it is looking like mission control in here. It's bloody ridiculous. And there's always room for more. The CIA, they're on to you, X. Good spot in there. And Race Red said, I remember last summer I was laid in the garden, just staring into the sky and broad daylight. I could see very small objects moving very fast, but then they slowed down and disappeared. Oh, I know it was not my eyes. And when you see them, small cells, I'm certain it was something more. Bang on there, bang on. I really think that is the case. And John there coming in with the super chat. It's very, very kind of you. It's a massive appreciation for that. And so kindly it goes straight back into the stream, help us improve what we're doing. Where are you joining us from tonight, John? I'm just scrolling through the actual the TikTok chat, catching up, and I'll be over there with you guys shortly once I've got through here. But very kind of you, I do appreciate that. So at the minute we're saving up to take the show on the road, do more live Skywatches on locations. We're going to do UK UFO hotspot tour, kicking off with Rendlesham Forest, where the crash/landing may have happened in the early 80s, just outside the US airbase there. But lots of places over the UK there. America, thank you, John. Massive appreciation. Well, very welcome from the US there, our cousins across the pond. Have you ever seen anything strange yourself? That is very cool. Right, where did we get to in the chat here? Greg is in. How are you doing there? Best UFO, baby. Thank you, Greg. We just like to hang out together. And Print Farm, how the devil are you doing there? Thank you coming in with the shares. Guys, it's the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we have on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. You never know who's going to come in and what experience with the phenomena that they are going to share. Greg, with all the money Spielberg has, he used CGI for the Disclosure movie. I've got to admit, the quality on some of that, I was a little bit, it didn't feel Spielbergy in that for those bits. And there was something about the, you know, when they kept showing those cutscenes of all of like the past, the videos from the past, they didn't quite hit that in the nail for me there. No Sleep as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you in from? And what constellations are we looking at? Is it Lyra with Vega? I timed got edge of the moon, the left side of the camera, and timed it to see how long it went across and disappeared. Interesting. Long time. How are you doing there? Is it oh no, Misty, sorry there. Oh my God. Misty the Mancoon, how are you doing? What you been up to? Good to see you in. And Powerhouse, how are you there as well? Good to, where are you joining us from? I looked into Stone Henge and it was built by Bob the Builder after a drunken night out. What was it? What did I say? It just did that. That was somebody who was coming in with Stone Henge as well, wasn't it? Adam with the shares are there as well. And Don King, thank you for the follow. And MD, did you see the new Skinny Bob videos there? They're probably fake, but they're not, if not pretty cool. MD, exactly my thoughts. I keep floating about with and the original Skinny Bob and those ones. Now, the thing that's in my mind with those at the minute is bouncing from fake to real to fake to real. Ultimately, that just means I don't know. I'm just not intelligent enough or skilled or anything to know for sure. But one thing that jumped out for me, and it may be reasonable, if anybody's been in the Air Force, especially the olden days, could you tell me if this is... But I wouldn't have thought that they would have been in an open aircraft flying at that sort of altitude in their dress gear. You know, that normally you have to wrap up for an old craft like that because it's bloody cold up there. So that made me think of a sort of a... You remember the old, especially World War II, they had the old leather skin jackets because it gets very cold on a plane back in the day. So that's what jumped out at me, but that might just be, you know, not particularly accurate. And Lee, you only zoomed in on that one spot there, and he had 3 moving targets. I know, I pick them all, pick those ones. But they're not doing anything interesting in a second. We need them to go red. We need to see these objects stop dead, shoot off for speed, change their course or trajectory. That will tell us for sure that they are something a little bit stranger than just one of the many, many man-made objects flying around up there. I have a flasher report to Space Police. It's Alan. That's why he had to escape here. He's on the run. And Mr. McLovin, welcome aboard. There too. Dynamod as well. Good to have you in. And the tubers are chatterboxes. They are tonight, and I will get back over to you guys. I'm just going through the TikTok chat. Outside and capturing Andromeda. We can occasionally get Andromeda on the screen, and it just blows my mind that when we're looking at all of these dots up here, like what we're seeing now, they're all other stars, basically like our sun, various brightnesses, temperatures, etc. But, you know, big fusion reactions in the sky, planets floating around them. But there's one, and it looks like a smudge star, and that is a whole other galaxy with billions and billions of planets there. Kate,
nom nom nom,
coming in, feeding guys. Alan there. Thank you for that. Getting the S30 probe. Oh, Dino, that is very, very cool. I need to get onto the old smart scope scene, I think. And Greg, other human brains are electric, small voltage, but plenty enough to be a conductor to store info. Very much, yeah. Is it the electric universe as well? It's an interesting angle on all this. You're making me think of that. And TikTok, how are we doing there? Thank you for the gift. And Abner's Hunt, how are you doing there? The reason we don't hear from aliens is we don't want to know you. Well, it may be the case. You know, it might be like us with the ants. We don't have conversation with them, but we do study them, don't we? And we do kill them. But when people say, you know, there's no alien radio signals, we've not got any evidence of aliens, that's not true. We don't have any conclusive evidence. There's not one single piece of evidence out there that says definitely there, but also we shouldn't expect to. Our technology is just not that advanced. We can barely hear things that are going on up there, and the more advanced that technology gets, the more anomalies it detects. There are so many candidates for that. I think it's just a matter of time. And Ash there, I've seen a UFO before with my parents. About 3 minutes or so later, fighter jets went after it, but it vanished. That is a really cool set. Where was that, Ash? Appreciate that, because we do hear this a lot. We do hear this. I wonder if you could use, like, you know, flight radar or something like that now, because they probably, you know, have their transponders on still, to track anomalous, you know, movements of fighter jets like that. You know, can you like program it to understand maybe that's a strange path for 2 of them outside of war or something there? And truly there, a big warm hello from the Netherlands. Very welcome in. A warm hello to you here from Wiltshire in the UK. Good to have you in. How are your skies? Have you ever seen anything strange in them? Marcus isn't over on the tubes here. I saw on the TikToks. And I had experiences in a daylight. So I had one, the closest was dusk, like the stars weren't out, but I did see something incredibly bright in the sky. Then that's the closest I got to a daylight sighting. But that's only because I was putting the camera up ready for the night there. Laura Lass is in, and Marcus sent a treasure box. I hope you all thank Marcus for the coins there. And King of Hearts, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from tonight to there? Isaac, what's the setup? So it's a Sony A7S, I think, with a good lens. The work is the lens, though. That does 90% of the list in there, and it took me a while to get the right one. I don't know what it is. It's a Chinese one with just numbers. But yeah, that's basically it. And then it's a signal into you guys, into some custom tracking software. So what you're looking at, guys, is moving objects in the night sky. That is light being bounced off of objects that are just outside of our atmosphere in orbit of the Earth. Now, most of them are going to be man-made satellites. But if we look around, oh, there's a red one there. That's a misalignment, though. It's not an interest. But this one isn't. Or is it trying to track it? But yeah, they're objects reflecting that light back. Now, most of them are going to be man-made satellites. It's just a numbers thing. There's so many man-made satellites up there. So that's what we're going to see. And this is what the tracker is looking out for. It's identifying the target. There you go, the white line in the target. Predicting its course. And if it is a satellite, it will be on a straight, consistent course at a consistent speed. And if it's on that course, it goes green. Basically, it's not giving us any indication that it is anything strange. But if it goes red, then pay more attention, because it could be anomalous. We are looking out for these objects to stop dead, shoot off at speed, or change their course or trajectory, because that tells us for sure that we are seeing that man-made satellites just can't do that. Or it goes red when there is a tracking alignment issue. But again, most of the time, they are going to be man-made satellites if they don't do anything strange. But we don't know that for sure, because ET flying around from A to B up there, they're going to be in a straight line as well, aren't they? They're going to be going from A to B. There's not much to avoid up there. They're going to look the same. We really need ET to realise he's left his keys at home whilst he's flying over our camera. And it does happen, so we have to pay attention. We have to keep hunting. Where did we get to down here? To Netherlands, didn't we? And to Marcus. Where did we? Down there. Scotlander, how are you doing? Just getting your messages there. And down here as well. Lethal, good. Keep up the good spot in the mods compress the grid. And we've got to that one. Janie, and apparently the moon was brought here from another system, and it's a man-made. I've heard many stories. I've heard as well, certain cultures talk about times before the moon. There are so many interesting, and the moon is weird. I don't think we have enough conclusive to know 100%. But it is. Oh, that was a faint shooting star. Just appeared there, very faint. But the moon is strange, and the fact that it's so responsible for so many things that we take for granted. You know, it stabilizes the Earth's rotation, stabilizes the tides. Oh my God, you know, it's very important, and also scientifically as well. If you think about this, if you want a species to learn to become, you know, interplanetary, what the best first step is to a nice little planet, little rocky object close by as your little stepping stones to learn. But also with those solar eclipses, as that does eclipse the sun, it's a near solar eclipse. It's not quite perfect, but it helps early civilizations observe and learn about the sun without blinding themselves. There's certain little things. Maybe it is the moon itself is the message, like the pyramids. You know, actually in their measurements, in their design, is the data is encoded, the circumference of the Earth and shit like that. We've only just realising now that the actual measurements were the message. Maybe the moon is the same there. Andy as well, Isaac too, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from tonight? And because Sharon is so massive there relative to Pluto, they don't really orbit one another in the traditional sense. Oh, is it a barycenter? Is it when they're all orbiting 2 points? Technically, we don't orbit the sun perfectly either. We technically orbit ever so slightly off the center of the center. This is within the sun still. The planets with gravity, they slightly dance, even the smaller mass ones there. But in practical terms, it still looks like the same thing there. And battle for the battle there. What's the purple star? Brilliant question. That is a Vega. That is 26 light years from us here on Earth. Beautiful, beautiful Vega. Thank you for the follow. And bro, outer space is humongous. Oh my God, it is. Like, it really is. Have you watched those videos where it starts off on Earth, zooms out, solar system, you know, galaxy, all that stuff, and then it just keeps on going, and it keeps on going. Like, it blows my mind. And instead, they had orbit a common center of gravity located in open space between them. Yes. Perfect. And often making astronomers classify them as a binary dwarf. Really? So that is supposed, because they're so big that you know, it's close to it being, you know, an equal dance. Very interesting. I did not know that about Pluto. And Adam there coming in with the shares. Massive appreciation for that, guys. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all that jazz that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. The more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the better. The more we can all piece this puzzle together there. And is it don't say there, do you mean you actually tracked a UFO? So we have actually there. Now, what that actual UFO is that's anyone's question. I can't say it's ET flying from A to B, but what we can do is we can filter out satellites, we can filter out shooting stars, space junk, aircraft, all of the used drones. But what we are left with, we don't have answers for. And it's not just us. Obviously, you know, governments recognise this phenomena now quite openly, militaries as well. There is something going on, a separate category of things, and they don't think it's just oh, it's probably somebody else's tech that's not released. I mean, there's a possible overlap there, but the things that are being observed, the behaviours that are being observed, aren't just next level, they're next physics sort of thing. It's very interesting. So it is a hunt, doesn't mean every single one of them. So the majority of these ones, and especially if they don't do anything strange, so there's a little bit of an orange one there, if that just keeps at a consistent speed and a consistent line, we can't say that it is anything other than a man-made satellite. But if you pay attention, we will see more and more strange things as the night goes on. Where did we get to? Around here there, Laura, that's coming in with the gifts. Where did it go to? Before that, Drewski is in. How are you doing there? And TikTok's there. I'm good. They're just ready for Reggae Land tomorrow. Oh, is it a gig? And what do you mean 300? You get what are you on about 300 there? Oh, you're talking to X there. Oh, and aliens, they're coming in with a share. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And tubers, I'll be over to you guys. Shoot, I'm just getting to the bottom of the TikTok list. Why on the closing scene of Disclosure did she say a listen? So I totally forgot the end of the Disclosure Day film. I was just so focused on the middle part. Like, it was only when I think Kate reminded me what the actual ending was there. And Liam there, what a great concept. Thank you. And I am so surprised of how interested people are, because, you know, I thought if I've got 8 people to keep me company whilst I'm just searching the skies, hoping to have an experience myself, but people come in and they share their experiences, they share their knowledge and their skills. We've had people that work with satellites come in and actually explain some things, helped us improve our search. So what a great time we live in where we can do this and we can have these experiences together. I find it absolutely phenomenal. We live in a very, very lucky time tonight, guys. So do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from, and ask away any questions. It might take me a second to get you in the chat, but I want to hear from you all, especially if you've had an experience with a phenomena. And is that Jeff there? Hi there. Sorry for this there. Where are you? It's a good question there, Jeff. So we are coming from Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So it really is a very good place in the UK to do it. Lots of strange things in these skies. In fact, this little town is called Warminster. I hadn't heard of it until I moved here, but if you're old enough, you might remember the Warminster thing. It's an international hit in the news for about 10 years. It was a solid UFO sightings in this little tiny little Wiltshire countryside town. And like, they called it the thing because they didn't even really know about UFOs at the time. You know, the locals, the farmers, they were always a thing going on up there. Oh, have you seen the thing? But you could turn up any day there and you could have an experience. It was almost that guaranteed. And it had crashes, landings, abductions, missing time, dead animals, you name it, at every part of it, very, very consistently. So it does seem to be a little bit of hotspot over here. I've been doing some research and it's been going on for hundreds, if not thousands of years. With peaks and troughs of activity, but it does still look like it's going on there. And if the moon makes tides, what about lakes there? So yeah, I wonder if that works. So with the tides, because it's pulling on the water, it actually means that it kind of pulls this bulge of water, and as the earth rotates out, we go through this high out level of water and then out the other side. That's what causes the tide effects. I suppose in trapped bodies of water like that, it's just got nowhere else to go, maybe. A big rock just crashed into the moon and pulled in loads of small rocks there and just settled Earth's orbit. I wonder if that means they're going to re-enter at some point. Maybe we get some moon rocks. That's what you read. It's very interesting there. And is it Big Rick crashed into Earth? It's meant... A Big Rick's crashed into Earth is... Okay. Oh. And Jeff as well, thank you for the follow there. Because of polar shift. Oh, right. And is it snack break yet? You can snack whenever you like there, X. And that you can see an obvious wait, at least there. You're having a chat. Sorry, guys. The Caspian Sea and the Lake Victoria are both massive bodies of water with no tides. Yes, it must be about that it's got nowhere else to go or something like that. You know, it's just going to be, as it goes, it can't go up. Oh, it's a festival in Milton Keynes. God, I'd love to go to gigs. I haven't been to a gig in years. I'm far too old and decrepit. Now, Janie, thank you for the little Alan there as well. And Deng as well. Appreciate the gift as too, Denny. Sorry. It all goes back into the stream. Help us improve it. Oh, that was a big one. Hold on, I can't nearly miss that. Can I clip it? I'll try clipping it. It's not working. Have we got aircraft flying over at the second? Because that was a weird one, guys. That was weird. It wasn't bright enough to be a satellite, but it's quite big, wasn't it, there? Down here. I've seen things that are unexplainable. Danny, I want to hear more about them. Do tell us more if you want to share them. Would love to hear about that. And the moon's just an alien satellite. Some people do say that one. I don't know if I'd go that far yet, but the moon is weird. It is strange. You actually look into the specifics. There are so many things that are just a little bit too perfect about it. Now, it doesn't mean that it 100% is, you know, rare events do happen, but there's quite a few going on. I definitely think it needs more investigation there. And oh my god, my eyes tonight. Is that Beetle? My god, my eyes there. What do you use to track these? So this is a bit of custom software we're building, hence why it gets it wrong every now and again. The first step is we need to get it better at getting more precise tracks. That one is being tracked, will go red because it's not got the alignment quite right, and as it gets further away, it's going to go, anomalous. It's not. So we need to get that right. The second step is to then get the software to recognise and label the stars that are in shot. When we have the moving objects and what part of the sky it's looking at, the software can then identify the specifics of the known satellites that are in orbit there. Sorry for yawning, I heard that one, X. So that's the next step we're working on there. And a Mars-sized body named Theia collided with the early Earth and orbiting debris formed the moon. So that's what they think, isn't it? That's the running theory at the minute. Yeah, basically smacked into a proto-Earth there, Mars-sized object, and then the resultant mess just reformed the modern Earth and the moon. Now, they have tested the moon rocks that they got back, and, you know, it does seem to be made of the same stuff as Earth, but why is it only 23% as dense? It is very strange. They have it on good authority that DJs are futuristic psychic gnomes. They could well be. Don't talk to me about gnomes though, X. And reality as well. What am I looking at there? A lens pointed at the sky in your back garden or something. Basically that reality. Yeah, nail on the head. So it's a live feed coming from my garden up to the night sky here. So we're based right in the heart of crop circle country, and yeah, we're just tracking objects. We're looking for the ones that act a little bit strangely. Put it that way, yeah. And weird how the moon is a perfect distance and a perfect size for perfect declare. Exactly, lots of perfection. I think it is strange. Definitely think it's worth further investigation. I don't think it's ridiculous to kind of have some theories about it. And Danny, I was walking home one night and I see a bright light in the sky, and the opposite side of the sky. Oh yeah, I want to hear more on this. And are those satellites? Most of them, Callum, most of them will be. But now it's hard for us to say any specific ones. Now there are apps that we could go and match the individual ones to, but it takes a long time, so we can't do that and do the stream. Basically it's very difficult to align it. That's why we're trying to get the technology to do it for us. So what we have to do is work on their movements. Man-made satellites are falling to Earth in a big circle. Same for the space junk there, the debris, all that crap. It's falling in a big circle, so it's consistent speeds, straight lines, but the orbit for us it looks like a straight line from down here. So if we see something stop dead, shoot for speed, change its course or trajectory, that tells us 100% that it's something much more anomalous at those altitudes. Obviously planes can do large turning circles and things like that, but with the lens you see planes quite clearly. And so plus we have the old tracker we can bring up here, excuse me, too, to help filter those out. I keep pressing the wrong button. Yeah, most of them will be. But again, even if it doesn't do anything strange, we can't say for sure without that match if it is a satellite, because these things that we're seeing, not as much, but these same things, these dots in the night sky, were spotted well before man put stuff up there. So orbs as well, Pico. Yes, so that's one of the most commonly sighted ones. Why do you collect gnomes? I try to avoid gnomes as much as possible, especially after the incident on the hill. Spotted anything weird yet? Not tonight, but last night and the night before we did have some strange tracks which were looking pretty anomalous. Although saying that, we literally just had that thing that didn't match normal satellite behaviour. So I'm gonna have to review that one in the edit, which I should be doing tomorrow. To the Orion's belt, but it's the same straight line. Ooh. Towards that. Whereabouts in the world did you view that from? And the moon lacks a heavy iron core because it is formed from a lighter crust of debris, lowering its density. I think it's even lower than that though, isn't it? Like the actual density there. There's something else that they do think at play because of the vibrations and things like that. But interesting to talk about the core, because if the impact model there, the planet Theia impacting Earth, reforming the two, if that is correct, then where did the core go? Some people have put theories together that it could be Mercury, because Mercury is a weird planet. It's mostly like a planetary core. It's mostly iron. There's not much anything else to it, you know, the heavier metals. So somebody thought maybe the planet hit us, lost the lighter stuff, which formed us and the Earth and the moon, and then, you know, the core just kept on going. That's why it's in a weird orbit as well next to the sun. It doesn't collect gnomes. Gnomes collect Sam. They're trying. And what camera and software do you use there? So the software's custom. So we're building it ourselves, hence why it's a little bit janky. But the camera is just a Sony A7, I think. And so there's 3 of them, and I carried on walking, and I went past a house. And as I got to the other side of it, going to keep the installments, the next one. Did you get a clip of them weird things there about 5 minutes ago? So I did, I think. Well, it's all recorded. It's all recorded. It's just if I can find it again in the edit. I have a little button here that is meant to clip 2-minute sections, but it's not working, which is really frustrating. So I've got to do it manually at the minute, which means I can miss things. And then the house, they disappeared. So I walked back to see if I could see them, and it was gone. So that is, yeah, that is it. Was there any coloration to them as well? Oh, you didn't see it, X, did you? Because it was only on YouTube. It wouldn't let us do it live on TikTok from up there, frustratingly. Yeah, we were doing the live, and then we heard, so occasionally, guys, we take the show on the road. We do the old Iron Age hill forts that surround the town. We want to go further afield, but that's next, hopefully the next box we can tick. But yeah, towards the end of the stream, and it wasn't going to be the end of the stream, but we were there, and our night vision's gone. There's no trees up there. It's a flat Iron Age hill fort. Great views, brilliant sky, but the night vision goes where I've got the screen looking at us there, so you get a better shot of the night sky than we do, even just standing there. And there can no trees up there, very flat. And we heard a rustle. We looked around and just saw these white, blurry, like faces with points, just about 15, 30 of the things rushing towards us at speed. That's all we could see coming out of the darkness. And you watch the end of the feel of the video of it, and you just see us go like that as we're trying to understand. And my brain's going, is it the local kids? No, they're too low down to be kids. No, is it aliens? No, I don't think they're aliens. And then my brain settled on gnomes because they had like a pointy beard. My brain just went through all of the weird stories I'd heard, and then went, gnomes! They weren't gnomes. Turned out they were cows. So they were really interesting in what we were doing. Scared the living hell out of us there. Reading Way. Oh, not too far from us as well. That's a really caught a sighting there as well. Have you ever... Is that like your first sort of paranormal experience there? And do you have timestamps for these strange tracks? I didn't do it. No, I was relying on the highlighting, and then didn't realise it didn't work. So I've got to go through and scrub manually. Beetle there as well. Have you ever seen weird bright white flashes? Yes, we do see those. Excuse me. We actually, one of the strangest things we get is a stationary flashing. Everything up there should be moving, should be in motion. But we've seen it, haven't seen it since I think January, but it's come back through loads of times previously. Normally goes on a break a couple of months, comes back. Same part of the sky, just flashes once every 17 seconds, once every 13 seconds, whatever it is, just there winking every now and again from the same part of the sky. Very, very odd. I have no idea what it could be. And technically, there shouldn't be anything doing that there. The heavy core ended up inside Earth, and then when it collided with the early Earth. So there are those structures within Earth, aren't they? That they do think when they're doing the seismic stuff that within the core, the mantle, they think, oh, is that part of it? It didn't melt down. But I like the Mercury theory of the core. I don't know how much research went into it, but there was a paper or two on it. I thought that was cool. Callum as well, thank you for the follow. And is Captain Blue Nose in? I haven't seen him there. Oh, there he is. There you are. How are you doing, Captain? How's your weekend going? Hope you got your feet up. And in its dense iron core sank downward and completely merged with it. Oh, it's definitely possible. I do think there are people that are contesting, or scientists, as the way science is, you know, coming up with other theories and all that sort of stuff against this impact model. But I think there are many other clues that sort of thing went on there. And thank you for the gift, Captain. Very, very kind of you there. All goes back into the stream. Same as the Patreons, the members, the merch, all that sort of stuff. All goes straight back into the stream. And merch as well there. Speaking of which, we do the merch showcase quickly. Have we got any new ones? So if you guys get something to support us, you can post a picture of yourself in the merch showcase section on the Discord, and then it comes up on here and all of the pre-loading screen. Who was in over on the tubes that you saw our new waiting screen? We tried that one for just before we went on live there. So there, but yeah, what was it? What were we saying on those ones before I got distracted? Where do we get to? Callum there, thank you for the follow. A screenshot at the time. Thank you, Kay. I'm going to have to make another system for it there. And only the lighter rock from the outer crust and the mantle of both bodies was blasted into orbit. So That was it, yeah. It was the idea that there probably was an impact with the early Earth like that, because actually, due to our current understandings of how planets form, the Earth shouldn't have all the organic material that it has. That sort of stuff apparently is like much further out planets, so it would make sense that something big happened, and we kind of got more, more elements and more things like that from the mix up there. Jack as well, thank you for the follow. Good to have you in. Where are you all joining us from tonight, guys? We are doing our live UFO at UAP at Skywatch, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. So lots of weird and wonderful things in these skies. I'm just finishing up on the TikTok chat, then I'm going to bounce back over to the YouTube, catch up with you guys. But do say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and share any experience you've had with the phenomena. We'd love to hear about those. Which is why the moon was left without a heavy metallic core of its own. That would make sense on those ones. But they still do think its actual what do you call it, mass is still odd. They were so big and bright and a yellow. This is the thing, like, you have these experiences, and yet we are lost with the vocabulary to explain it there. All we have is lights in the sky, brightness, speed, and to try and convey the detail on how those experiences felt with the words that we have there, it just doesn't come, does it? It is so hard. There, but as well, thank you for the follow. And there was a real strange one, and I had went on night flashing with a mate, and we both saw it. So, repeated flashing is very, very interesting. Technically, satellites can do it, but it can be very, very interesting as well. MSTA as well, thank you for the follow. And Gresgor as well, thank you. Where are you joining us from tonight then? I can't, let me see if I can translate that one. And not describe the satellite. Which one was that? Evening as well. Chromie, how are you doing? And where are we? Try and translate these ones. It's not working, I don't think. Oh yeah, it's not giving me a translation for that one, Greg. So, Johnny, have you seen the UFOs tonight? There was something that flew over. I'll have to watch it on the playback though, because it wasn't tracked. The purple star is beautiful. It really is there, mate. It really is. We'll zoom in on it. It's Vega, 26 light years from us here on Earth, burning much hotter and much brighter than our star. Your classic triangular star. I'm joking. That's just the lens causing that. But it is beautiful. A big, bright, beautiful Vega there. Why is TikTok having a sulk already? Sorry, guys. There it is. There you go. Purple star is Vega. And Liam, are the green tracking lines our own satellites? Yeah, well, most likely. We can't say 100% until we match it up with known satellite orbits, which is just too much work for us to do now. So, by default, we're looking out, really, for evidence of something strange. We're looking out for their movement. So, whatever they are up there, UFO, satellite, space junk, it's reflecting sun's light back down to us due to the position of the sun at this time of year, bouncing that light, reflecting back down to us there. So if we see that thing stop dead, shoot off at speed, zigzag, change its course or trajectory, that tells us for sure that it is anomalous there. Satellites just can't do that. Flashing and coloration are interesting, but it's not quite as clear cut. So what the tracking is doing is going, is it doing anything strange? Because unless it does that, we can't say otherwise. Now, it doesn't mean that this object isn't something strange. Most of the time, ET is going to be traveling in a straight line from A to B. There's not much to avoid up there, so it's going to look very similar, isn't it? To us there, but we can't say for sure otherwise. And if we tell you, the lives are always relaxing. Thank you, Emily. That's very kind of you to say it. And a giant impact blasted away Mercury's rocky outer mantle, leaving its massive iron core behind. Theory that could be, yeah, definitely could be true. I mean, the solar system was a very hostile place, wasn't it, for a very long time. We've had a relatively quiet period, haven't we, during human existence. Appreciate that, Emily, too. And, oh, you joined the Discord. Very good to have you in there, Danny. I appreciate that one. Guys, if anybody else wants to join it, it's a really cool community over on our Discord. Not just stream updates, although they are there, but we're going to have personal experiences section. That is my favourites. If you guys want to share your stories there too, with images and videos, if you've got them, you can do that, or you can read through the old ones there. All the latest UFO stuff we talk about gets posted in there as well. So there's always that, and Space News, our monthly movie club. We did movie club yesterday, didn't we? We got a vote on the new one. I don't think Alan posted the poll actually last night. I'll give him a kick to do that. We can vote on next month's movie club. You can hang out there. And where are we? Anything suspicious? There was one strange object but I need to check it. All 6 being tracked at the minute. Keep an eye on those. And it's hard to explain how we saw it. Not able to put the one into it. And honestly, Danny, it really is a lot of the time. Even my own experiences. Like, if we weren't live, I'd have a nightmare trying to do it. Like, our gut picks up on a lot of things that we don't consciously know. Like, our gut is always learning things in a very sort of roundabout way, in a very generalised sense. Like, I know that if I chuck Alan like this, I know how much power to give him to catch him there. And it's a felt sense. It's intuitive. It's not 10 degrees at 12% power, is it? My muscle does this. But I know it there. And it's the same when you watch objects in the night sky. You see planes throughout your life. You get a rough feeling, you get a rough understanding for physics, you get a rough understanding for their movements. And then when you see something that doesn't align with that, your gut goes, hey, there's an anomaly. But it's not capable of giving you those precise measurements or the language to describe it, which is often where it gets us there. TikTok is a twat. It is a bit there. And H32 there. What app do you use to scan the sky? So we don't use an app. Well, technically it's an app, but it's one we've built. So this is our own custom tracking software from our own camera. Coming into the night sky there. In 2353, there was a red line going from C to A. A convoy. Oh, Liam, good spotting there. We'll have to check that one out on the thing there. Another one there. So the red ones, if they go red, it does mean take a look. But like this one here, this is a misalignment. So you can see it has gone straight, but the actual tracker predicted the wrong path for it, sadly. But keep an eye out, because that is where the anomalies happen. And what are these small dots moving at? Chromie, most likely, well, satellites, technically they're all satellites. Yeah, the moon is a satellite, but probably man-made satellites is the answer for the majority of them there. And where are we down here as well? Mercury's giant core spans 85% of its radius and makes up nearly 70% of the time. It is crazy as a planet, those ones. And the impressive fact there, the fact, and it scans the sky and picks up alignment of UAP. It's a bit rough. That's why we get the errors on it, but we are working on it. We're going to refine it to that, and then the next step is getting it to understand and label the stars in the night sky. I have got that going, but it's not very good at it. I'll turn it on now, but it will get it wrong. And then once we've got that information combined with the tracks, we'll be able to get what specific satellites they are. So we'll be able to go, right now, that's a known man-made satellite, that's a known man-made one. Hopefully improving the ability of things. There you go. Let's press the labels. Oh, I mean, it's not too bad. Vega is actually there, so it is a misalignment. But yeah, so that's what it's... I'll turn those off for now. But it's not quite right. It's not quite there yet. Mercury's crust is very thin there, averaging a 16 to 22 mark. God, that is really thin, isn't it? And the purple dot there, Ray, is a Vega, 26 light years from us on Earth.
Zoom mode.
There we go, zoom right in there. Burning much hotter and much brighter than our sun, won't last as long. Oh, Danny, let me see if I can just do that for you now. Although I am an old man when it comes to technology. Is it gonna... Oh, no. No, I've already broken it. No, wrong button. Come on, Sam. Come on. I'm almost at the bottom of the TikTok chat now. No. Where is it? Pending. Oh, no, I think Kate's done it. She must have beaten me to it. Oh, like satellites rotating around. Yeah, basically, Chromie. Yeah, basically. So anything floating around Earth like that in a stable orbit is technically a satellite. But yeah, lots of the man-made ones. So that is what we're tracking. We're looking for the ones that look strangely, because a UFO is going to look basically the same to us from down here. Oh, with a drawing. That is perfect, Danny. Appreciate that. Thank you, Kate, for jumping on that one. Name is Toxic. I love it. There, we'll see you on the dark side there. Where are you, Danny? There coming in with the gifts. X2 coming in with the gifts as well there. And Captain Bloom, sorry, I missed loads from you there. And Really Shift as well. Good to thank you for the gifts there. Massive appreciation. Sorry, didn't notice those. So it all goes back into the stream, helping us improve on what we do. Right, I'm going to bounce back over to YouTubers. You have been waiting long enough now. Oh my God, there is quite a few that I'm behind on. Where did we get to with you guys? Find my place. If you are just joining us tonight, so we're doing a live UFO, a UAP, a Skywatch there. Coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle Country, just down the road from Stone Henge. Make sure you're following, subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because so we do this pretty much every night. Clear skies, it's this, the UFO watch. Cloudy nights, it's the alien radio signal hunt, where, like the film Contact, we hunt on the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize that if ET's out there, that's where they put the message. And if the moon is up, it looks like that, and we look for what's called translunar phenomena, weird flashes, lights, outgassing, glowing craters, the stuff that shouldn't happen on the moon, but have been seen for a while there. Right, a drink, I got to that, but I need another drink now. We're around here, weren't we? Ah, Stuart is in. Good to see you there. And Trevor, I am a Forces family, and my dad in 1972 was in South Wales heading towards Cardiff in the back of an army truck, and they saw a massive grey cigar object. Oh, Trevor, there was somebody, I swear it was somebody else that said a very, very similar story to that. I wonder, I got a feeling it's somebody else as well there. Oh, Raph, I wish I could go for one. For a massive skeptic, and for him to tell me it saw a massive UFO. There are just some people that are, they're not prone to fancy. They're not prone to extremism. And this was the thing, like we were told for the longest time, and hey, before the internet in the modern era, you know, this is, you know, we only got what was basically served up to us, wouldn't we? But it's the rednecks that see these. They're the ones that have all this. And you can't trust them, the strange country folk. But not only has that never been true then, but now even more so. The people that are coming out sharing the experience are highly credible people in highly responsible jobs. They're trusted with very dangerous and big shiny things. You know, the people that report this, it's everybody from all walks of life. And always the good ones. Pancake exactly there. And film music, is the camera scanning lower than 2,000 foot? No, not at the minute. I think we're almost pointing directly up. I mean, so technically 2,000 foot straight up, but off the horizon, not necessarily. We do have an eclipse this week there, and the Anunnaki coated their receiving craft and equipment with the thin gold layers, just like modern satellites there, to use gold lined. Oh, I haven't heard that part of the, excuse me, around it like that, but it would make sense. It's why we use it for that nature. And has there been any more updates to the Star Tracker yet? So not really. I have tried, but I just it's just crap at it. I need to, what will happen is I'll get frustrated, then I'll leave it for 2 months, and then I'll come back to it and it'll work first try, like the fix, whatever it'll be. That's what happened with the actual tracking. It's like, it's a bloody nightmare at the minute. We'll get there. I think it is the 12K for the eclipse there for that one. We have a moon crash on Wednesday morning. I've heard about this. Can somebody tell me, is it an intended one, or is it just like a stray upper stage that's eventually going to hit the moon there? And where are we? Down here. John, live right next to Wright-Patterson. Oh my God, John, that is the Air Force Base in Dayton, and I have tons of sightings there posted on Reddit there to look up all the time. Oh, John, hey, we'd love to hear some of those. That is awesome there. You're definitely very welcome on our Discord if you want to share some more over there. We do have a Reddit actually, but I think it just never got used, so I forget to check it. But right next to Wright-Patterson. So if you don't know, guys, Wright-Patterson is basically the place where they think that the Roswell bodies went. It's got the notorious Blue Room there, and it was like the location for where they would take foreign captured craft to, you know, look at the engineering to take them apart, understand the foreign adversary's capabilities. So it's exactly the place where you would expect to take down craft like that in those early stages. Lots of reports talk about Wright-Patterson, and it's probably got a lot more since then as well. But going right the way back to then, lots of history. What a place to be next to there. Oh no, email failed. Are you? I'm trying to think. Which one was you sending it to? Did it say it bounced? There you go. Liberty. Oh, good spotting, Amanda there. And hello, the untracked ones. They do slip through occasionally there, and love there. Right, Pat Airbase definitely has hide something there. If ET didn't exist, why would the US budget so much for this? And why would all those private companies operate there? Area 51, very mysterious and weird. So this is there are lots of weird things that governments and militaries do. They can definitely spend their money on silly things as well. So, but I think you're right there, like UFC. I do think you're right there. There are so many adjacent things, like where does all the fucking money go? You know, you can tell a lot by people's behaviour, can't you? And I think there's enough around there to paint a picture. Like observing a black hole, we can't observe it directly. No light or signal can leave a black hole, so we're not like how we're seeing these stars, that light's being emitted, or how with radar we bounce a radio wave off and detect it. No, we can see around the black hole. We can see where the light stops, and we can see if it starts to eat a planet and it's pulling it apart before it fully enters the event horizon. We see that all being stretched out around it. We see the gravity bending the light of the stars around. I think that's actually the main thing, is, you know, like that. Maybe we can do the same with the phenomena. You know, we can't see the secret project, but maybe we can see that there's £12 million has gone to this or that. 12 million is probably it's nothing compared to those budgets, but you get what I mean. And Gandalf, how are we doing tonight? 2 orbs there, cubes in spheres, caught tonight there, but I'm sure that they are only a few thousand feet. Well, this is another good point, is that we're looking and we're mostly observing, obviously, the stars and the satellites that are going to be very, very high up. Now, this camera is obviously going to see anything in between. If a plane goes over, you'll see that nice and clearly. It's quite cool. Same with the birds and the bats and the things like that do fly past. So, in theory, we can see those things. But most of these ones that we're seeing and we're tracking are all going to be mostly at that higher altitude, but within it, because technically UFOs, or now UAP, a UAP within the Earth's atmosphere. Outside of that, the code name is fast walkers. That's what they're referred to as. And if the mothership comes down, which country will it land in? Oh, it's a good question. So trying to strip away our human interpretation, right? How would we figure this out? If we go to, say we do send our probes to Proxima Centauri, to that star there, and around it, Proxima, was it B, there, which we think is a rocky planet with an atmosphere, etc., etc. If we don't go, oh shit, look, it doesn't look like there's life there, guys. Let's send a ship over, and it travels there, and we've managed to get there in a reasonable amount of time. Ignore all that, but we're sitting there in orbit of the atmosphere, right? Where do we pick? You're looking down on a civilization, say it was similar to Earth there. Do we go to the largest population density? Do we go and look and go, right, who's got the best quality of life down there? Well, they've all got heating and air conditioning. They don't. How do we pick? How do we choose? That's a very interesting one. And living like, if true, the Anunnaki create us for mining, and they don't want to program robots, but wanted self-replicating, self-repairing biologics there, follow verbal commands, eat local food, and breed more workers. So yeah, this is the thing. Maybe there is a reason. I mean, even they talk about now that biological robots might actually be a better way of doing things like that. They're self-serving in a lot of ways. So maybe that is the conclusion that we would come to with it there. Maybe it's just easier. But you're thinking, if they've got that technology to come from a different star there, they could build the robots if they wanted to. I was there, and nobody there. I beg to differ. The Sony A7S is very good because it has a lower megapixels. Oh, it does that. Yes, yeah, nice cameras, which is better for the low light. So it's a low light beast. It's a good lens also. This is the S, but it's the early one. So it is a low light sensitive camera. But most of the time, I don't really utilize that part of it. I don't know if it's just because the lens is low quality. It lets in a lot of light, but it's low quality. I think I might end up pushing the performance a bit more. Like get the able to crank the ISO up if I had a better quality lens on it. But that's stage 2, and hopefully it can take out the Americans. For Christ's sake, I still think it was awesome. They would, but I like a good American. I have got quite a little place in my heart for the US. Not perfect, but then nowhere else is either. Small flasher up near Vega, good spot in there, Stu. We've had a few flashes tonight. We have been, honestly, I don't think we've had flashes for weeks. And they used to be really common, and now they're all back again. So what's that about there? And I heard the moon formed about 4.5 billion years ago there through a massive collision involving early Earth. Yeah, that is, I think, the leading theory at the minute. Theia, they call it. Mars size, I reckon, smacked into the proto-Earth there. So it probably delivered all of those elements there. So I do lean that way. But there are, again, like with science, we can't go back and test. So a lot of this is deductive reasoning. You're putting a few things together and going, right, I think this is the answer, but they're not held as fact. There's an old Russian satellite there, was it R/S, that talks back on radio. Really? Oh, I'd love to start playing around with that. There's a hilarious story, speaking of satellites, that I just think it sums up the stupidity and also the resourcefulness of humans, which is back in the 60s, the US, the CIA, put up $1 billion at the time network of satellites for communications for the CIA. And it was on a frequency band that it was the dishes and the equipment you needed was far too expensive for it had to be military. They're the only ones with the budgets that could buy these transmitters and stuff to communicate, with these satellites. So they didn't put in any security on them. They didn't encrypt it. If you've got the transmitter that can do it on this frequency, you just send the signal. That satellite picks it up and then bounces it down somewhere. It just repeats it basically down there. Because the equipment was so expensive. Anyway, they put these satellites up there, and they're still up there today. Still working away today, but it was only a couple of years later that technology did one of its massive jumps, and now anybody, or since then anybody, can access those satellites. So the CIA couldn't use them anymore because just anybody in the world could kind of start utilizing them. So it was just wasted. Yeah, nowadays they're used by I think it's Brazilian and Argentinian truckers to communicate with their CB radios. They bounce it off these satellites around the world. That's hilarious. They're using a multi-billion-pound satellite network to talk to the radio. I think in Russia a few propaganda stations use it as well. And the reason we haven't been... Oh, good fight and flash beat for Amanda. I'm a bit far behind, but I will double check before down there. And the reason we haven't been back to the moon is A, it's expensive, and B, yeah, we can't make any money from it, and C, there's nothing up there. So, Raf, actually, I would agree with you. Like, it's the most plausible case is that the reason we went to the moon in the first place, it was a race of ideology of civilizations, of cultures there. You know, they were trying to prove who was the best, and, you know, it was the way to express that without actually fighting. There's a lot of pressure on that to do that, and as you see, you know, it may have been one of the big things that ended up bankrupting the Soviet Union and, you know, ultimately ending the Cold War. So that pressure came off after the moon landing there. They've done that one. Yeah, there's not the money. If there are no money to be made, no incentive, and, you know, not much up there. Now, there is lots of stuff, lots of interesting things for science, for tourism, for novelty, but it's not hit that threshold of affordability for most people to go and visit the moon, you know. But we're talking about, it's like helium-free, which can be really used for energy. Now, the cost of going up there and getting that is prohibitive at the minute. It's more expensive. It's too expensive to get it. But again, if technology improves and then the resources here on Earth get low enough, all of a sudden the value goes up, and you know that they'll be harvesting that shit from the moon. Oh, sure. Yeah. What was the address? I don't know if it'll let you type it in. Are you making sure you're not putting .com, because the ones that we have available are they're .fm. That's the one that I always forget when I put it in as I put in to log into my account. I always go .com automatically, and it's not, it's .fm. First time here, local to me. They're in Wiltshire also. There is that Gareth. Welcome aboard. Hopefully you're still there. Sorry, I've been going through the chat, so it takes me a while to get to the messages. So I appreciate if you're still around there. As a Wiltshire resident, have you seen anything strange? I'm new to the area, only about a year and a bit now here, and already seen some strange things. But it's a really, really beautiful but really interesting place there. I'd love to hear if you know of any stories there. And space is big there. You just wouldn't believe how mind-bogglingly big it is there. You may think it's a long way to the post office, but that's just peanuts to space. It really is. And look, Vega, as we're talking about the purple one here, Vega, 26 light years from us here, this lovely, beautiful Vega. 26 light years, that's in space terms, that's no difference there. I wouldn't want to walk it, but if you think our closest stellar neighbour, Proxima Centauri, is 4.2 light years away, this is on the same street. It's the other end of the street, but in space terms, it's the other, you know, it's just down the street. And did it all that time ago there, but I haven't done it since there, and the amount of coins Musk throws about there, I doubt it's money related. So, well, that's a good point. Yeah, it must have been like a byproduct of an old stray booster. I have a great book there, Who Built the Moon, by Christopher Knight and Alan Butler. Oh, I don't know that one, or the names of those. I'm very interested there. And as Liberty says there, hit the likes. I do appreciate that, guys. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that sort of stuff there. That helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. Crew stole the moon there, and I'm in Amesbury, home of Stone. You're closer than us there. That is very, very close down the road there. Yeah, oh, you must have some stories there. You must have some stories, because Wiltshire, you don't realise it until you're here and you start really looking. You know, it's got a couple of these older landmarks, Stone Henge, Asbury, you know, all of the things. But you pull out an Ordnance Survey map, there is a mound, a burial mound, a tumulus, you know, various henges just hanging around. We've got Stonehenge style stones in the woods and stuff. There's just lots of stuff has been going on here for so long. It's got so much history and you look at lots of the legends around it all, and you go, all right, you may have said that this is the devil, but what you said you experienced was a bright orange light in the sky, and you're like, that matches our modern day sightings. And where are we down there? I'm still suspicious there. That's what makes it so fun there, but it's annoyingly at the same time. Yes, it very much is the case. C2 as well, untracked Amanda. I'm going to have to give you the grid, guys, to hit the buttons there. Lots of stars flashing in a C2 also. Let's have a look on those ones. C2, oh, it's right by there. Well, there is quite a lot of twinkling. We've got a lot of atmospheric haze tonight there. You're not old there. I get to go loads of gigs. And I'm way older. Hey up, you go to more gigs than I went to when I was a teenager. It's like every week you're down there somewhere, you know. And, you know, all of the other events that you're up to. It's amazing. I look with ambitious eyes there at that. And your football hooliganism as well. It's very weird there. It was a wonky line, then it shot off. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that one out because my first thought was, oh, is it one of the birds or something flying over? Because they can't, but it was far too bright for that. It's too clear to see. Look, a spaceship of the mantid alien race to me. So Morning Wood. Honestly, I don't, if it's as my memory serves, it's very interesting. It was a very strange one there. Put up which email to, yes. So, actually, I need to double check my own bloody email. It's either, I think it's just the thing. Hold on, I'll put it in the chat. Is that the @ symbol? Not on this keyboard, it ain't. There we think it is that one. It's either that or it's the thing UFO. Good spot in there, Sam, as well. A bit far behind, thanks for that. And according to a Sumerian text, the moon came from Nibiru when Tigma was ripped in half between Mars and Jupiter. And then the top half took a moon from Nibiru as it formed into the Earth. / it's called Kingu. Interesting. I've not heard that part of it as well. Good spot in there, Sam. And Chris, I wonder what tribes people who are completely cut off from the rest of us are thinking when they see these satellites in the night skies there, and they may be now incorporating to their belief and story. Chris, you know, I've not thought about that one, but yeah, is there anything when they maybe see a passing, you know, jetliner on their way to holidays there, but still passing over those islands or something? Do you think they go big metal bird in the sky? Like, yeah, I wonder what their interpretation, because you know the way our knowledge works is it's based on something, based on something, based on something, based on something. There. So if they've got no reference point, they're not going to come to the same conclusions as us. Like if you show a caveman an iPhone, like there's nothing you can go, oh, it's similar to this or that. But the closest you can get to is big shiny rock. You know, there is just nothing similar, is there? Funny how craters on the moon only go down as deep as so far. So this is another thing. You know, craters on Earth, they're as deep as they are wide. You know, or not necessarily, but you know, there is a proportional correlation, isn't there, to the size of the object hitting it and how deep it is. But on the moon, they're all the same, and they're all very, very suspiciously shallow. And there are some craters that are so large that the center point of it, because of the curvature of the moon, the center point is at the same level as the outer rim of the crater. It's very strange. And I thought it was a plant called the witch that crashed to 4.5. A planet called Theia. Yeah, that's the one. Theia. But it's not 100%. It's the leading theory, and I think it's probably going to be the right one. But yeah, Theia. As well, soccer. Oh, that message didn't come through. I have to try again for that one. It might be worded differently. I think the auto thing got it. Same, always see that one as well. And I thought it was a waiting screen. But oh, you saw the waiting screen. See, yeah, I don't know how it's going to hurt other things, because if new people come in and they go, what the hell is this? But I thought, hey, it's a good thing we could put up the Starship Alan on all of that. It took me ages to kind of get the music right. And I should have to remember to remove that from the thing when it posts the episode. But yeah, you'll be able to see all yourselves on there. And quantum physics opens up a whole new rabbit hole there. Don't read about it if you want an early night. Bang on. Like, quantum physics is... we don't understand a lot about it. There are lots and lots of theories with it at the minute, but it is still very early days. We understand some things, or we can, but there is always a habit of that we understand it to the best that we can measure it, and then we get more tools, we can be more precise, we go, shit, our measurements don't add up anymore. But as a professor said, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand quantum physics. But it's this whole world. It's like opening up the Wild West again. You know, there's this whole new territory to learn, to explore, and to see what the possibilities are there. Oh, thanks for trying those, sure folk. Well, God, he's jumping ahead on me. Good spot in there, Trevor, too. I'll catch you later, Gandalf, as well. Bet he doesn't pick up the Chinese satellites. You know what? We never consider Chang'e. We're talking about looking for the ISS. We never do the Chang'e one there. And that crawl as well there. What software is it? It's no. So at the minute it's not. It's one that we're building at the second. So that's why it's buggy. But when it is finished, we probably will make it available. We make most of our stuff, you know, available on our website, thethingufo.live. And why do satellites have life on them? Lights on them. Sorry. Brilliant. It's Chronoway there. Sorry, I've pronounced that right. Good question. It's a really good question. So what they're actually doing is they're not actually got lights on them. So they're not emitting light. They've not got headlights. But it looks like that. They're reflecting the sun's light back. So what happens is, obviously, the sun has gone around on the surface. For us here on the surface, the sun has gone around, so it's dark. But these objects, where they're off the ground, they still have a direct line to the sun that's still kind of here. And as the night moves on, the sun goes further around. Less and less of those objects will be there to show that sun's light. Now, seasons have an effect. So that's a very good question. Down here as well, and told you had busy feelings tonight. Yeah, that's a good point. A buzzy feeling. Yeah, we did see that one. That was an interesting one. A lot of untranted, which is weird because it is very clear. Let me try tweaking the settings. Oh, shite, no, wrong way, Sam. Let's see if we can get some more tracks without getting false tracks. Because when I turn the sensitivity up, where we've got a lot of twinkling and background noise, it struggles. See, that one's not being tracked. I've turned the sensitivity right the way up. Come on, you can track that. We're on max sensitivity, and it can't get that. So very weird. Where are we there? Oh, I missed something. Okay. Most of satellites at different altitudes. Exactly. There will be a point that they disappear when caught in the Earth shadow. The umbra, the Earth shadow. So as that shadow comes round, it's not actually a straight line. It's kind of an angled one. So if they're lower down, it'll get darker quicker. Further out, they can still be visible for a bit longer there. And if it's still there despite that, it is not a satellite. It's a very good point. So over winter, when we see hardly any satellites, you still see the odd stray one, like once or twice a stream, and you're thinking to yourself, if we're not picking up any other satellites, how the hell are we seeing that one? So you maybe think that they may be emitting light, because UFOs, lots of reports that they ionize plasma around them when they move, and that causes a reddy glow. Sure, one just disappeared. Super. Oh, excellent. Email on the website says. Is there an email on the website? I don't even know if I've listed the email on the website. I might have put a totally different one on there. 100 likes, not bad. Thank you guys for that. A massive appreciation. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that stuff that really does help us, reach more and more people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the odd phenomena, the more we can piece this puzzle all together. You never know who's going to come in and what experience that they are going to share with us. We had some fantastic ones tonight already. 6K on the TikTok. Where are we? Down there. There is. Yeah, you got to beat the TikTok tubers. You got to do better than them. The flash has disappeared. Good spot in there. And short there. Oh, it's saying it does not exist. I'll have to check that one out next time for those. Literally, as you're saying good night there, that's when we put it in. Where on the website does it say the email? I'm not even sure where it is. Because I may have just totally got it wrong. There might be a placeholder. How you doing, Doug, as well there? And Emilio, how are you doing there? And LU, that one could work. The one on the website, no good for email programs. One on the website, no good for different email. What one is on the website? What's the first part of it? Because I may have totally screwed up the one on the website. There. And greetings, guys, over there. And Emilio, how you doing? LUFC there. I need a green laser shining into the sky now and again there, or some nuclear relic in your garden. See if you're going to track them. I'm going to start collecting smoke detectors to take the radioactive core out of them. I'm not building a bomb, guys. I'm trying to get aliens in. But we are, because you're very right there. So there are ways, apparently, of attracting the phenomena in, of encouraging it in. CE5, consciousness, meditation, and all that sort of stuff. That apparently has this really good cause and effect, of summoning them in. But we are working on it. There's also another way, which is called colloquially a dog whistle. So like dog whistles, ultrasonic there, we can't hear them with the human ear, but, dogs can. there are frequencies and tones apparently that really are successful, hopefully, with summoning in the craft. So we've built it, and you'll see it. If you're over on YouTube, you'll see that now it's changed, right? You'll see that line, it becomes a waveform. So that shows us when it's playing and what frequency it's playing. Now, again, we wouldn't hear it because they're ultrasonic, so that gives us the visible there. TikTok, you don't see the waveform, but you will be able to hear our test tone. So, I said we've got a little test one so we can hear it here tonight. See the waveform going off down there. But yes, that's just as a little test. But yeah, we've got loads of frequencies, different patterns and stuff like that. I'm waiting for a lead to arrive, then I can drag the speaker outside. But you can use that. One is also available on the website. If you're registered there, go in, you can use that yourself. As long as you've got sensitive enough speakers, then you'll be able to use this yourself in your own UFO hunts. And third secret of Fatima can be understood by reading Night in the Grab there by Medovici, and it sounds like an alien invasion in the mists of a new Cold War. Glorang, I've heard somebody say that one before. I don't know if it was yourself, and you know what, I totally forgot, but that is actually very interesting. Somebody remind me of that one. That's a weird track on that one. I don't think it did do those movements, but it looked like it did. It's hard to tell. It definitely did drop. No, that's the tracking dot itself doing that. Ignore the tracking dot. Why is this one not tracked?
Zoom mode activated.
This is big and bright. There is no excuse for that fucker to not be tracked. Look at the size of it. And I've got it on maximum trackability. I've not got it around the other way, have I? It's not around the wrong way. Have I been doing my own tracker wrong? Have I been having it on maximum when it should have been minimum? That would be hilarious. Right, let me bounce back over to the TikTok, guys. Let me see where we got to with you one. Sorry, there's quite a few messages. It's going to be a minute before I find it. Around here, I think we was. And then I can scroll through. Guys, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from tonight there. I want to hear from you all. Yeah, do make sure you're following, subscribe. We are on pretty much every night, and we've got a run of clear skies here for Skywatches. So, yeah, I'm going to be a good one, I think. Mercury Strike Course spin. Oh, no, I did that one as well. And Purple Dart. I did that one. Oh, and H52. Have you considered using AI to track and combine against OSINT? So, yes, I have, but it's difficult. So I've been trying to use it to identify to the stars and stuff like that, and it's better than the old school plate solving, but it's not accurate enough yet, which is really frustrating. But I mean, these things are developing so fast. Like, you know, next week it could be totally suitable to do it, but I think that'll be the way to go. But yeah, I'm not having much luck yet. All two faint ones being the third faint one. I think I've had our sensitivity dialed the wrong way this whole time. Typical. Yeah, exactly, Chromie. Like satellites rotating around the Earth. That's the one there. And Danny there. Oh no, I did those ones. Yeah, did that one. And DJ Puppeta as well. Thank you for the follow. Where are you in from tonight? Again, guys, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from, and ask away any questions. No silly questions here at all. It might take me a message to get to them, but might take a minute to get to your message. Sorry, but we want to hear from you all there. Chromie, I didn't either. The first day that I got this lens set up and all the settings right, I turned it on, I ran up here, looked at my screen and went, oh my god, there's an alien invasion. I had no idea how busy the sky was. It is insane, isn't it? Yeah. So the AI would make up fake signs. Well, that is something you do have to consider with it. If you've got if you've got like a lying friend that goes, yeah, no, I met the king. Yeah, his mates with me, you know, like proper like Billy Bollocks, you know, that's just always coming out with ridiculous lies like that. AI is like that. Like, you do get some truth out of the person, but sometimes they just tell you what they think you want to hear. And Adam coming in with the shares there, appreciate that one. Lethal as well, good spotting as well. And the Great Unknown, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from? And definitely need to get the Galactic Police in now for the flashers. It's becoming quite a problem there. And Gamer Guy, how are you? Oh, it's Scooter, how are you there? The Skylad. didn't they use to explore the oceans before they explored space? So they have at the same time, but not necessarily before. So NASA is the National Aeronautical and Space Society, no, Space Administration, something like that. So basically, air and space is their zone of interest, and they were, it was the U.S. Air Force that was doing space and rocket the early testing, and NASA only came in, was it the late 50s? They established NASA, the early 60s, that they kind of put it together, and to go like, you handle the space stuff now as a thing. But they did look into the ocean stuff. That there is an overlap of interest and of technology development and stuff like that. So they have dabbled in space. Deal with the devil there, Kate. And what do you reckon to inhabiting Mars there, Callum? Good question. So do you mean like in the past, or as a species, us doing it in the future? Mars, I find so bloody interesting there. So I think, and I think it is pretty much definite that there is biological life on Mars. Probably bacterial in quite small sense there. But, you know, the only time NASA has ever sent scientific equipment there to detect life was on 2 lander missions, both Viking missions. And on both times, it 100% said life. But they went, oh, actually, maybe not. You know, they wouldn't commit to it, and scientists don't like to commit. You'd think they want the glory, they want the Nobel Prize of the big wins, but they don't want to put themselves out there to be questioned, and so they don't like that part of it there. So I think there is a lot of evidence, and it's not just that. There's lots of other indicators going on with Mars. Like, did you know that, you know, there are certain spikes in the amount of methane in the atmosphere of Mars over certain areas at certain times of the year, which is what you would basically apportion to like bacteria getting a little bit hot from the sun, feeds, releases a waste product, sun fucks off because of different times of the year, less methane. There's lots of little clues like that with Mars having that bacterial life. Now, it might have more complex under the soil, away from the radiation, all that sort of stuff. Maybe it did in the past. Mars, they now reckon, was Earth-like 2 billion years before Earth. So I think probably life came here from Mars. It was probably thriving there beforehand. You know, and there is some evidence of past civilizations. There is images on that look like worn structures. Like back when we were looking at this back in the day, it was all blurry images, and it was like, oh, is it pareidolia? Am I just like making this up? But now there are some stuff you go, fucking hell. That really looks like that. Really, and there's a lot of it as well. So there's a lot of these contextual clues, let alone the elements only known to come from nuclear weapons or on the surface of Mars in high abundance. So it looks like it could have had a little bit of a nuclear war. So I lean that's quite probable for me, that there could be like a history to life on Mars in that sense, in a more complex sense. But for us in the future, I like this. You see it every now and again from, like, you know, space weirdos online. They go, doesn't Elon Musk know how uninhabitable Mars is? It's like, he knows it's uninhabitable, but have you not realised what humans fucking get up to? We like to do that shit. We like to go to hard places. You know what? Eventually we get used to the hardness, and then we make something of it. That's literally what we do. So I'm a big fan for there'll be something on Mars, and given long enough, if nothing gets in the way, there'll probably be cities on Mars, even if it isn't hospitable. But the idea of terraforming Mars isn't such a crazy one. There's something in the Martian soil called perchlorates, and now they're basically chemicals, but they're toxic to us humans. It means we couldn't grow anything on the surface, even if there was an atmosphere. But also coming into contact with it, it's the same stuff that's in washing up powder, basically, or clothes washing powder. It's not good for us. In raw form, but it's all in the soil there of Mars. So we're thinking, oh god, how would we clear that up? That's another barrier, isn't it? But it turns out there is a strain of bacteria that feeds off of that. And what does that bacteria produce as a waste product? Oxygen. So, you know, what you could do is release that bacteria, give it 100 years, and it would do the fucking planet. It would feast off of that, provide an oxygen-rich atmosphere for us there. You don't need... Mars doesn't have a magnetic field. That's why they think that it's been stripped away, because of a weak magnetic field. But you don't actually need a magnetic field to protect an atmosphere. Venus has got an incredibly strong atmosphere with no magnetic field. So, you know, I think it could be more possible than we think. I don't think it'd be easy, but I think, you know, look, we find a way. If it's not physically impossible, we do find a way. What do you feel on it there? And in miles, that is about 147 to 150 trillion miles away there, roughly, give or take. Yeah, wouldn't want to walk that one. Thumbing a lift to Vega. Kate coming in with the shares, appreciate that, guys. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, say the more we could all piece this puzzle together. There is, you never know who's going to come in and what story that they are going to share with us there, helping us all understand a little bit more about what is going on in our universe there. The tracker has missed quite a lot. Yeah, it really has. When I got it working again for the first time, it was near on 100%. It was in the 90s. It wasn't missing anything. Look, we've got a nice big bright one here, and I don't know why, because it's brightness based. It should be able to pick up those ones. So I'm going to have to do some more investigation. Let me try the tweaking the settings again. Let's crank it all that way. See if it has a chance of picking up some more faint ones that way. Where are we? Down in the chat as well. Not tracked. Good spot in there. Kate as well. And you've just done 500 likes. Well done. I appreciate that one, Kate. That and that you're in every night for the last year, that's also dedication. And Danny, just put a bandage on pit in the Discord there with a description there. Try not to laugh. We won't laugh at all. I mean, I am absolutely awful at those things. So giving us anything towards being able to, you know, fully understand your encounter, we do appreciate that. If you want to check that one out, guys, link in the bio for the description there. The personal experiences section is full of everybody's first-hand accounts. We'd like to see you over there. Zoz as well. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate that. Goes back into the stream. Forgive you if you don't laugh. You'll be fine. We'll check that one out in a bit there. Andrewski, could dust on the tracking sensor be the reason it's inconsistent? I don't know. I mean, if we can see it though, like, then the light's getting in, so it should be enough. It's not too dim for it. I mean, it's picking up fainter ones. Maybe it's a speed thing. Maybe those ones are slightly low and it's filtering them out. There's got to be something like that. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see if there's an obvious reason that I missed with it. Changong stays too far south there due to its 41 to 33 orbit there, invisible to the northern area. Ah, that might be why. Because I always assume the big one, we do check, is the ISS. I was wondering that, but if it's not in that sort of orbit, that's very interesting. That's about when you get the TikTok warning. Yeah, exactly. Another 600 like, thank you there, Lethal. I do appreciate it. Why does that tune make me a giddy? Oh, maybe, Laura, you didn't see Close Encounters when you were a kid and like you hated it or something, and now it just brings it back there. Or maybe you've had a close encounter. Did your comment come? It does, yeah. It just takes a bit to come through. I've got those ones there, Danny. Watching from the belly of hell. Is it hot where you are still? Oh, the summer holidays and the 1,000 kids. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That one. Watching from Hampshire and Basingstoke. Love that one, Adam. And where's Vega gone? Good question. So for you guys on the TikTok, you don't actually see the full screen. It's still on shot for us. It's in D2 at the minute, but that's behind me over on TikTok. So TikTokers, again, you're missing out because it looks like this. It's ran the right way. You see much more of the screen, all sorts of other contextual data and things like that. It's normally a bit more stable as well. So definitely check that one out. Have it as a backup because sometimes TikTok throws us off. In October, we couldn't get on for 2 or 3 months. It did a stupid update. So that's why we started doing the tubes, because of that. So it's always worth to have it at the Thing UFO on the tubes as a bit of a backup. Where did we get to? Another 2 on track. Yeah, it is. I wonder what that is. It'll be filtering it out because it should be basically how bright the object is. That should be the main reason. And definitely are seeing, they are brighter. We are seeing and tracking successfully dimmer ones there. We have about 2.5 billion years to inhabit Mars until Earth dies. So is that when the old sun is meant to expand, isn't it? And get into us there. And Nazareth there, go to church. I do find the religious stuff quite interesting. I'm not going to lie. I'm not there yet, but I do think there is some truths in those old accounts across the board for the religions. And what's the bright star in the middle of B2? So that one is Deneb, I think. Deneb. I think it's about 26,000 miles away. So Vega over here, I don't think it's behind me on TikTok, is 26 light years. This one's about 2,600 light years, sorry, away from us there. You finally boarded the Starship, Dawdle there. Should we quickly bring up the Starship, Alan? We haven't put it on in a while. Right, is it going to load for TikTok? There, so this is, in a second, this is, I've got the screen on so I can see if there is anything strange, and I'll bring it back in a second. This is Starship, Alan. It is populated for all of our Patreon members, so you can see yourself on board. The free tier gets you in as well. It's not about the money, just so we can bring in your details there. Look, and you're all on the Starship. Where is Alan? He's the green glowing dot. What's he doing? Who's in the probing room? Anyway, let's bring up the sky so nobody's missing out on those. There. But yes, you can join the Patreon and see yourself there. We're currently in the Church of Alan, Kate, but good to respond. I like that. It's behind my head. Wait a minute, what's that for? What was that? What was we talking about, Kate? I'm trying to scroll up to figure it out what we're talking about. Oh, Vega. That's it's out on my shelf. Vega is behind my head on the screen. Yes, it is. Janie there, lovely cool 12 degrees in it. It's still at the minute 25 degrees in my bedroom now. I'm grateful it's not 28, but it ain't cool enough to sleep yet. I'll catch you later, Lee, as well. Always good. Appreciate you in. And TikTokers are better than the tubers. We're going to have to get you guys to fight. Down here as well. Lethal good. Spotting there. C4. Am I in time for that one? Well, I missed that one. I might have been a bit slow to the party there. Should we spin the camera around, guys, before I get back over to the tubes and see where we are with you all? Right, the tracker's going to go haywire because I'm moving the camera. It's going to think everything's moving. But let's spin that camera. Is it not going to work now? For fuck's sake. Right, I'm taking out of the on the road fund. I'm getting a new bloody tracker, so we can't spin the camera now manually anyway. You need the green laser there. It could work there to not come back to the ones on the website. Oh no, that was it there. Did that one, didn't we? And Sherry there. Aliens could be looking at us too. Oh, Sherry. Yeah, that you're right. You're right on the money. And I often think that I haven't said this in a while, but like, I mean, we could be looking back here. So let's take Deneb
Zoom mode activated.
Here, and we're looking back around that star. Do we know of any exoplanets around Deneb? It might be too bright for us to be able to observe it, but there is most likely planets in orbit around this star. So can you imagine on those planets, life looking back at us, looking at the faint dot that is our star, wondering if there is life here on Earth? I often think that, and yeah, there's life is going to be, I think, anywhere. The early signs, again, it's a question of our technological abilities. So when people go, where are all the aliens? Well, are we looking? You know, what would we expect to see? We don't have the resolution to see craft. So, like, imagine just a UFO, your classic UFO flying around there. If it's too far away from the surface of the Earth, we don't have the technology to just see that flying around generally. They are always finding meteorites, comets flying, catching us by surprise. We do not have 100% coverage. We don't even have 100% coverage of our own bloody atmosphere or our own airspace. There is so much room for these things to exist. But when we do look in the limited ways that we have available, we think like, you know, with radio signals, we do our SETI radio swoop here. But science has detected so many brains are dead, so many potentially alien radio signals. They just can't confirm it, but there's a lot of anomalous signals looking exactly what a technological alien signal look like, exactly where we'd expect to find it. Same with these signals. We are just about getting the technology now where we can zoom in on these stars, right? And again, we can't deny it, but the bigger telescope, they can zoom in on these stars. They can measure the star is dimmed in brightness, and that's how they just detect those planets around them there. But they can actually to tell the bit of light that is coming on the edge of that planet as it passes the star, that edge of light that would be passing through that planet's atmosphere, right? And then because that light is passed through the atmosphere, the light is filtered by the gases that are in that planet's atmosphere. And when you analyse the light that's reached us here, that's gone through that, it can give you a rough guide of what gases are in the atmosphere, you know, what's been blocked out. And at the minute, we are finding these detections of gases that, as far as we know, only can be made by life. Now, their early detections, it's not 100% yet. It's like looking at a really crap video of something. You know, it's blurry. You can't say 100%. Is that Dave? Or is it somebody else that Kind of looks like Dave. It's too blurry to tell. It's that sort of thing. But we are about to hopefully push that line across with those experiments there with new telescopes to be able to know for sure. And apparently in the astrobiology community there, they just get so many of these detections that they're like, we think it's going to be out there. We think we're going to push this over the line very, very soon, which is exciting. And they could also, in theory, detect technology that way as well. So biosignatures are the gases that life makes. There, obviously, methane isn't necessarily associated to life, but you imagine we fart, cows fart, goes into the gut. They could detect that sort of thing. But there are certain chemicals like CFCs and things like that that we make as humans. That nature does not make them, and then because of that, we can see that gas in the atmosphere and go, right, you've not just life, you've got technology as well. It's called a technosignature as well. And as I say, they're already technology. They're here already, technically. And we're probably their experiment. So LFC, that is, I think, very, very plausible there. And we have been visited for thousands of years. So, Stuart, bang on. Like, if life is out there, which is statistically most likely, there's no reason for it to be anywhere near as old as we are, like both younger and older. Like, we're kind of in the middle of the date range here. There's been plenty of time for species to be so far advanced and to be able to travel these distances, and done it many times. I think it was Sagan that basically did some back of an envelope calculations, and he thought we'd probably visited about 10,000 times in the past, if they're doing the maths on how much life could be out there and all of that stuff there. So if there's a rough rule of thumb, we put about 10,000 times. Now, are they here a lot, or are they still here? Is it every 1,000 years, 2,000 years somebody pays us a visit there, or just on the statistical odds game? Don't know. But it's more likely than not at this rate. We can't say 100% that it has, but it's probably that way. I'll catch you later there, Raf, as well. And the weird thing is, when you get these CIA agents and intelligence officials who claim to have seen them in person, etc., making comments like, the public wouldn't ever sleep again if they knew. So yeah, that is one of the reasons, isn't it, that has been floated for. That's why they haven't told us. The idea of a secret too terrible to be told. And it's a possibility. Maybe we are their experiment, and they might get bored of us. There maybe we're their farm animals. They're harvesting us. I mean, we've heard before, haven't we, that maybe we're being harvested for our souls or something like that. You never know with these things. So maybe it's an awful news. Maybe the mothership's on its way, and we're counting down our days because there's nothing we can do about it. TikTokers, I'll be over with you guys shortly. I'm just over on the YouTube for a second. As well, but this is the thing, it's like we've got to be careful, because even if we hear any official announcement, we've got to be careful. Even if it matches up with what we think, we've got to go, but why are you telling us this? Are you, what advantage does this give you? Are you being honest? Is this the case, or do you want us to believe this for a certain reason? And what if we chose to be on Earth there? And perhaps all of this co-creation from the perspective of everything that exists could be that the Earth is the most highly focused place right now in creation. The idea of transmission and transformation. I've heard about, choosing us to be here, that kind of in a more, not just physically on Earth, but that spiritual angle about, it's all about the experience, and something could well be. So that one's not been tracked. Maybe it's a speed thing. I'm going to have to, that one does look a bit faster. I'll see if there's possibly why. It's a good one there. And long live Las Vegas there, El Dino. I did enjoy my time there, and I wonder if it's not refreshing fast enough, as it doesn't seem to pick up some of the quite slow. I think it's got to be something like that. It's got to be a rule, either too fast or too slow. That's what it's got to be. And Truthco there, hello there. I'm in the mountains of South Asheville. Again, good to see you in. I have a ton of footage that captures these events there. I'd love to see that one. The footage can be found on YouTube. So guys, check that one out. And the same name. I think you can click through probably, guys. See if you can see that there. And theories have been made that may even be travelling theories have been made that they may even be travelling that fast, creating a ball of energy around them, similar to our sonic boom that cloaks their appearance. Well, this is the thing. Warp drives, if you build a warp drive, that would help with that sort of thing as well, because you're bending reality around you. Like gravitational lensing comes into effect. That light that's bouncing off, that we'd normally see bounce back at us there, then you're lensing that gravity. You're moving that light as well. So cloaking would be incredibly easy for I think craft like that as well.
What is the definition of life there? Is an atom life? So living like this is it. We have functional definitions, don't we, that kind of work for our day-to-day experience. But like when you're talking about bringing in sentience, intelligence, and all of this sort of stuff, like we don't have a good understanding of that. So it always comes up for me with the AI debate that, like, yeah, I'm sure it could just be very clever computation there, but also we wouldn't know. We haven't qualified sentience for us. We don't really know where it comes from in us. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that they were questioning if animals were sentient, and again, you only have had to have owned a pet ever to realise, of course, they're sentient of their own experience of the world. But they didn't know that until recently. Like, you know, science works from the, you know, the wrong way around for a lot of these things. So yeah, definitely until we establish some of these things. There. Kane there, loving the rockets there, and Goods there, Garth, and Matt as well. Nordic aliens and Illyrians and Andromedans. So many different aliens there. The Pleiadians aliens are in the Pleiades constellation, which we do get to see in the constellation Taurus there. Can the Pleiades can see the Pleiades with the naked eye? You can, and so we get it on stream sometimes. But this is the thing: like, either life is incredibly rare, and we're basically unique, right, or it's everywhere. That's how it works. So I always go, we shouldn't assume that we're special until we have evidence for that. And there isn't that much evidence for it. There are a few things. Maybe, for example, our moon. You know, again, it's a very unique sort of setup. And if that was just a random event that caused that perfection, creating this environment for us, maybe, you know, maybe it is a weird series of events and we are special. But I don't lean that way. I know we definitely don't have the evidence to conclude that. So then life is going to be everywhere. And just with the sheer numbers, there's going to be a lot of life. We do have to take time into this as well. But, you know, do we exist at the same time as intelligent species, not just in the same place? But we're not... Well, the Earth had life as soon as it could. It wasn't habitable and then had to wait a few billion years for like the freak circumstances to generate life. No, it was actually, there was life on Earth before they thought it was even possible. So life probably didn't start from scratch here. But yeah, there'll be lots of life out there. And again, we thinking about the top species of those star systems, those planets. You know, we talk about the Greys or whatever. Well, if the Greys, they go to their home world, they're going to have cats, dogs, insects, gnats that they swat, whatever the equivalents are, plant life. And the reason we can assume this, and they're not just from a grey rocky world, is that if our understanding of evolution is correct, it would apply to them too. But we are complex beings for a reason. You know, we have hands, we have fingers, we have fingernails, we have eyes, eyelashes, ears, we have appendages because we had to compete. We had to kind of one up the life forms there. If there was no competition, then we would be gelatinous blobs just absorbing heat on the surface. We just stay bacteria. There's no reason to get more complex to try and one up whoever you're competing with. So we can deduce, if our theories are correct there, that if ET has got hands and fingers, is a complex life form, then they have got competition in the home world, which means they're going to have a diverse ecosystem like we do. And the reptilians are as well, which look like the predator. I think there will be. Look to Earth. Look to all of the species we have on Earth. There is organism species, creatures for every little niche, every environment. And you know, the more we look, the more we see. And you know, it's not just right. Okay, the birds have got the sky, and we just get one bird. The cows have got the fields. Boom. You know, no. Evolution is always rolling the dice to have. You know, to see what's best for every different specific environment. So I think there's going to be so many variations there. Some that we can't even wrap our head around there. And Kate, how close could Andromeda get before it starts messing with orbits here? So probably quite close. We really don't want anything within the solar system, you know, and we know in the past we have had stars come very close by and it has messed with the orbits and things. It has messed with the positions of stars previously, and we may have even lost a planet to that or added a planet to it there. It could be the best way you hop over when you're going past them anyway. And Stuart there. Oh, I remember this from the other night. Humans, hue from the light, and man from manifested and embodied. We are energy, frequency, vibrations as bioelectrical, mechanic beings. We are God / source in physical bodies as fractions of it. Yeah, I like it. I'd probably use some different language with it, but I would agree with that. I really would. I'll catch you later, LU, as definitely a bedtime program these days. Hopefully it's not getting the mind going. You can settle down before bed. Right, let's bounce quickly back over to the TikTok. Where did we get to, you wonderful people? I think it was around here. Yep, you were saying that you guys were superior. Where are we? No, you're there. Amanda, how are we? There. Oh, you're going to no. Is every star a sun there? I am. Yes, basically. Now they vary in size. They vary in heat. How much heat radius they give off there. They vary in the brightness from that. They vary in the color as well, like what light waves they give off, and they also vary with what it is that they're burning. So our star, you know, is it hydrogen, helium? It's all those elements there, and because there's so much of it, the gravity has just pulled itself in, and because it's under so much pressure, it's causing a fusion reaction, which is the burning. Basically, that's where we get the heat from it there. So all of these other stars, they're all burning fusion reactions in the night sky. They're burning away, but different amounts, certainly in different sizes, but also different ratios of the chemicals, which give them, you know, different temperatures, different light waves that come off of them there. So, like, you've heard of red dwarfs, so they, you know, as a star type. Ours, we're actually, I think are we a white dwarf or a yellow dwarf? I think we're a yellow, one of them, essentially. So again, our star isn't actually that big. In the scheme of stars, it's actually quite small, hence dwarf. But the red dwarfs, you know, give off a more reddy colour, that sort of light spectrum there. And they've got different sort of temperaments as well. Some of them flare more than others. But the size of stars are just ridiculous. Like, you know, we're talking about... can you guys, if I zoom into this one here...
Mode activated.
Is it on the, can you see that one on the, there we go, I think you can see that one on the TikTok. That is Vega, that squarey one, the brightest one. It's 26 light years from us, but it's 300, I think. Did you say, DJ there, Lethal, the 300 times the radius of our star, 300 times, and that's not an exception at all in the galaxy, at all. There are some big old boys out there, really, really big old boys. Good question. He done 3,500 likes there, Danny. Oh, massive appreciation. I do appreciate you there. In a couple of years' time, we're going to get something called TikTok finger, I reckon. We've all been tapping away like arthritis in the one finger. That's how it'll go. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're doing our live UFO UAP at Skywatch tonight. They're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. Long history on the weird and wonderful in these skies. Tonight should be no exception. We've already seen a few interesting things, but do help us spot the strange and anomalous tonight. There, also say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and ask away any questions you may have. I'm just reading through the TikTok chat, then I'll be back over to you YouTubers there. But make sure you're following, subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we do this pretty much every night. We've got a lot of clear skies ahead of us to do this UFO Skywatch. Cloudy nights, we do an alien radio signal hunt there. We search the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorise we are most likely to hear a message from ET, and if the moon's up, I can be bothered. It looks like that. We see all the craters, all the details, and sometimes some weird things going off there as well. We're always hunting, and we want to help. We want you to help us with that. I've always said that we are on planet Earth, saying I would if there is a life on other planets, and they are saying the same thing. It may be the ultimate question. It may be the one thing that we share in common with all life, or all intelligence life in the universe. You know, is anybody else out there? It may be the question that plagues everybody. Have you ever listened to Billy Meyer there, the contact notes there? And a lot of what he says makes a lot of sense. So he did some really good images, didn't he? I don't think I have actually listened to him talking about it though. But he was an early one, wasn't he? Got a lot of the classic sightings, like the one that was used in the X-Files Believe poster. And no exoplanets orbit Deneb there. It's a massive blue supergiant there, and it's a harsh environment that presents planets. Deneb's a supergiant. That is why it's so bright. So is it that as a supergiant, is it then that it's basically too young to form the planets? Because I think it's Betelgeuse, isn't it? That's another one that it's too young, and it will probably burn out before the planets will form around it when we zoom into Betelgeuse. Is it a similar thing to that, like that, or is it because there is also the equipment bias as well? So we see planets mostly around red dwarf stars, but that's because they're dimmer, and therefore we will notice a planet blocking it there. So if you think about these, if I zoom into Deneb here, we're talking about the brighter the star. Again, even the big telescopes, so you're not getting much more information than we're getting. I mean, you're getting a lot more, but it's still just a couple of pixels of light, really. There isn't much there. So the brighter the star, the harder it is to see the dim in that brightness when a planet goes in front of it. And therefore, that's how they track it. If that dimness happens repeatedly, they think it's something in orbit, if it's a certain size. But even like a Jupiter-sized planet will only dim us, like to our star, which is a massive planet to the star, it'll only dim the brightness about 1%. So it's really hard to see, to measure these things. Let's zoom out, see what that's tracking. But there is another way that they can do it, and it's to do with basically measuring the star's wobble, because every planet has an interaction with that star. We mentioned it slightly earlier.